And we are a go. Thoughts on Season 6, 2.5 Men show. Now, let's see if I can get these all right. Now, this video contains spoilers for this season as well as earlier seasons. The video is long, but there are time codes for the different sections in the description box. I've done other videos on this series. The links will be in the description box. And I forget if I only just put the playlist. Anyway, there will be links leading to. And I'm going to try, since I've made other videos, I'm going to try not to restate in this video what I've said there. And this was a present. So anything negative I say in one of these videos is not out of bitterness for having overpaid. Now, I read a few episode synopses of the next season and recognized at least some. So I know I've watched at least some of the next season. All I know for sure is I haven't watched past the Charlie Sheen episodes. I don't know if I watched all of the next season, all of season 7 or what. And yeah, I guess just in case I shouldn't say here where that ends. So a couple of, things not related to this series. Dan Olsen ended his series of videos on he called them a lukewarm defense of 50 Shades. And yeah, absolutely loved it. It was a lot of fun, and I'm really glad that they did a separate video of Charlie Tango, because I really love that is such amazing. That's exactly how you do, because just for people who don't know, it's literally just they did an actual music video for it. Really, basically they took some of the most quotes from the 3 books and just some of it's read and a bunch of it is sung, and it just, I've always thought that when you can just quote something and that's really, really funny or really, really disturbing or such, that's some of the most effective, because you are not putting words in anyone's mouths. However many mouths these particular people have, either individually or as a group, you're quoting. It's impossible to argue against just quoting someone. Most you could say, it was taken out of context, but when you have someone's actual words, that's really strong. So, yeah. Now, when I record this, the trailer for Avengers 4, first trailer, has come out, and I know that the moment I watch that, I'm not going to be able to talk about something else on camera. So, I haven't watched it yet, but I will. Originally, my plan was to, for once, actually do a reaction video. Not necessarily watching it on one screen and then recording, but, doing vlogging very soon after watching it and talking about what I think. But, yeah, since it's come up, I think Nerdist did 9 minutes talking about it, and there's at least one video that's almost 12 minutes talking about it, and then I'm not sure there's more than one college humor article on it, but I don't want to sit down and watch it, then watch those, then read that, and then sit here. And I mean, at that point, I don't know if I don't want to end up just restating what others have said. So instead, most likely, I'll take notes. That's a given. But the notes will go into the file that I'll use to, for when the movie actually comes out, where I'll talk about it, because that is usually how I do these sorts of things, and I'm very happy with that. And yeah, so getting back to the show, getting to the specific season, going over a little bit of continuity through this season, we have Jennifer Taylor as Chelsea, where Charlie really falls in love, as he did with Mia, and he has to be more mature for Chelsea. And I appreciate that they differentiate Chelsea from Mia. Mia wanted to more or less fix Charlie. She wanted him to have, excuse me, she wanted him to have a healthier lifestyle like she does. And with Chelsea, she's not really trying to change. It's more that she just wants more of a firm commitment, and for them to do more. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is as good as it's gonna get for now. Excuse me. Gonna bounce the camera, so if you want to look away for a second, that's quite understandable. Yeah, this is gonna do it. So yeah, if you're just listening, you can look back now. The camera's no longer bouncing. With Chelsea, she just wants them to do other things than just having sex. It's not enough for her that they're exclusive, which is what he, I mean, for at least some of these women, he's willing to be exclusive, but he's not usually willing to do anything that goes out of his comfort zone. He wants to stay just, like she says, they have sex, they watch TV, they get takeout, that's it. And yeah, she wants more, yeah. And that's not just Charlie Harper or Charlie Sheen. A lot of guys are just not, we like being where we're completely comfortable and where we know how things are and such. And that is something that's an actual issue for a lot of people in committed relationships. The men just, the women are try to be responsible, try to build something, not just have, let's have some fun together, where the men, and some people deal with it better than others, and I really appreciate them taking Charlie through that. And I don't remember, I imagine that's probably in at least some of the next season, but I don't remember how much more Chelsea there is. It really, it has been a lot of years since I watched. I guess when I last watched this season, it was probably fairly, it had aired on American TV not that long ago, so. And he also, there's the episode where she's sick and he has to actually take care of her. And that's for someone as shallow as him. That's not necessarily, not all men deal with, helping someone who's sick equally well. But, a lot have had to deal with, like maybe one of their siblings was sick for a while or something, But for Charlie Harper, that's a huge issue. And we have Ren Stiles as Herb Melnick, with more about him and Judith together. I really love them together. Let's see. I think I already mentioned it in the video for last season, but I really love Martin Mull as Russell. And Miss Pasternak returning. I talk more about that in that video, and those I talk about in the video. That's it. So, getting to the specific episodes I only spent 10 minutes. Taterhead is our love child. Yeah. For people who don't, if this is your first video, I don't usually take 10 minutes to get to the first episode. It's, there was a bunch of stuff to go over this time. Now, and yeah, immediately it's like, is that Charlie's kid? If not, certainly she dressed her son as Charlie, which is kind of messed up if they're not actually. That's like a weird, like she still has issues. She hasn't forgotten him, and if she can't have a man in her life, if she can't romantically be with someone who's like Charlie, she's gonna turn her son into Charlie. That's, yeah. Okay, if she reaches into her purse, I'm using numbnuts as a human shield. Did you hear that, Charlie? The young man plays the piano just like you. And she named the kid Chuck. And Alan absolutely loves the idea that it's Charlie's kid. This wouldn't happen if I had a smartphone. Do I even need to say it? And Alan sings Cats in the Cradle. Maybe not funny, haha, but certainly funny, hee hee. I never play in the rain with our slicker and galoshes. I'm confused. Where the galoshes go? It's just a figure of speech. I'm just saying I'm covered when covering is appropriate. I didn't ask for your life story. I was just confused about the galoshes. And, Russell, I have a question about these condoms. I told you, Charlie, I'm giving you the best bulk rate I can. I mean, I don't unroll the things and put them on you, but short of that, I do all I can for you. Is it true the condoms are only 98% effective? Have you been talking to the Wetzel's press lady? Because I just gave her a ride home, that's all. Masturbating is looking better and better, huh? But yeah, I love Russell the character, and I love the actor. And, Russell talks about, like, his cat got into the condom. Not a cat person, huh? I'm not either anymore. I'm not sure Hallmark has a deadbeat dad section. A great montage. And that kid really does look a lot like Charlie. And he picks the ice cream up, puts it back into the waffle. And the kid drinks milk out of, I think that's a martini glass. I don't know much about that kind of stuff. And, he has like dozens of kids. Yeah. This is a lot of gross out jokes about Jake in a single episode. It's the season opener thing. They want to really, hit the ground running. And, Jake's talking about like let's see. Yeah, it's like, he talks about, I think it's something like, this homework is really kicking my ass. And then Alan's like, language? Language. Math, science, history, phys ed. Can't even find my locker. And, Jake talks to Evelyn. All right, I talked to her. Oh, you owe me $5. Wow. And yeah, and Charlie stops Evelyn from saying that she has another grandchild. I think that's what that's supposed to. I did not proofread this section, evidently. And Evelyn does a spit take when Berta just drops them. Oh, stops Alan from saying to Evelyn that she has, and Berta just. Some people are just not meant to be parents. And you have a perfect example of, and Alan's still talking about Evelyn, you have a perfect example of that sitting right in front of you. You certainly do. And Evelyn's, I don't even think she realized, I don't think that's like her intentionally hitting him back. I think she thought that he was sitting there like, I'm a terrible parent. Thank God I put my name on the house so that it can never end up in the hands of some money-hungry bitch. that isn't related to him? I think it's Alan who's like, Mom, let's be honest. You and I both, everybody knows, everybody in this room knows, everybody outside of this room knows, this house will end up in the hands of some money-hungry bitch. Because it's gonna end up in your hands. And just, she doesn't even, how dare you say, she's just, I was saying that it shouldn't end up in the hands of someone who isn't related to him. And Charlie's like giving warnings to the mother of his child. You're gonna want to lock the liquor cabinet. Don't forget, mouthwash can give you a light buzz. So be on the guard for extremely minty fresh breath. You can expect the occasional hernia. And then we find out at the end, it wasn't Chrissy's child at all. She was just babysitting, hoping to guilt Charlie into sending her a monthly child support check. Also as, in part revenge for breaking up with her. And now that it works, she's not even going to babysit the kid anymore. And I really love how, the mother didn't even know. This is the first time she's seen her kid in a bowling shirt, and just, yeah. And, obviously extremely coincidental timing for, I think, Chrissy is her name, that Charlie walks away right before the actual mother comes by, but, And so many different men that look more like Jake than Alan does, and that are more likely to be the father of Jake. And I think that first one is the same one that played grown-up Jake when Alan was saving up money for old Alan. Another great season opener. We're 6 for 6. And Piehole Herb. There we go. Jake chases on foot after the ice cream van. I should have hired a monkey. You mean a different monkey. And Alan's talking about, first job. I was a fluffer in a pet salon. With a blow dryer. I was going a completely different way. And, I think, Alan, about why he has exactly $38 in his wallet. It's so little that my attacker wouldn't get angry and pistol whip me, but not so much that we would wrestle over it and I would possibly get shot with a gun. How much money would it take for you to wrestle money from a mugger? Assuming a small to medium-sized mugger, $40. And Charlie just closes his eyes again, POV shot. Very nice. So you'll get it by tonight. I'm hoping to get it as soon as you close the door. And, when Alan leaves them. So you're really out of money? Don't worry. I got hooker money. And Charlie gives Berta 100 but won't repay Alan. That's right. ALAN, anal. Yeah, well, you've been living in my Malibu beach house for 6 years. You owe me $1 million. That's a 1 followed by 6 little tight sphincters. And we find out Alan took gas out of Charlie's car. Was he hoping he would get stranded or just didn't care? But, 38 worth exactly. And actually, it turns out not even quite 38, but he took as much as he could. And Charlie grabs the lighter. Come on, just for grins, say, help me, my head is on fire. Yeah, that's when we realize Alan still wants more money from Charlie. No, I'm throwing you out because you're a cheap, gas-sucking, irksome jerk. I am not cheap. Judith really badly does not want Alan to live with her. And, 3 times she says to her piehole. And her realizes he messed up and Alan will move in. Let him stay there long enough, he'll give you a bleeding ulcer. Judith said that too. And Herb thought Charlie wanted to know his own sleeping habits. Wow. Let's see. Yeah, that should do. And now Herb is going to stay at Charlie's for a little while. Alan and Judith so badly do not want to sit and watch TV together. No, the grass is pretty freaking green over here. Damn. She's just gonna harsh my mellow. Yeah, she is a mellow harsher. She actually let me put my train set in her back room. Toot toot. And of course Charlie misunderstands that. You know, when he later, quotes it at her. And half asleep Alan gets into bed with Judith like he used to when he was living there. And she thinks it's Herb, and they kiss briefly. That is so messed up. Where's Herb? Asleep on the deck. Why? He's drunk. Herb's not a drinker. No argument there. You are taking me in, aren't you? And Alan really has to talk Charlie into taking him in again. You changed the locks? I was only gone for 6 hours. And now Evelyn did hire an actual monkey to flip the sign instead of Jake. I didn't realize people still put monkeys in comedies when this came out, I mean. 3rd episode in this show to have Alan temporarily move out of Charlie's place. And 2 of these are 2 seasons in a row. I'd be annoyed if they didn't keep managing to come up with hilarious things to do with that premise. I mean, really. Alan living with Judith and ending up in bed, and Herb living with that Charlie. Yeah, that's really, really funny. And from that very last scene, I guess we're to take it that Alan does get to move back in, but Charlie's going to expect him to be more subservient, since Alan gets him the donut and such, being careful to get his order right. Damn you, ex-Benedict. Just gotta know how to whack it. I bow to your superior experience. Drizzle, don't squeeze. So saith the whacker. A little late. The girl's already jumped out of the cake and everyone's had a piece. A piece of her, of course. Nicely done. Do these chicks know you're dipping your chips into the salsa and the guacamole? Hitting 2 piñatas with 1 stick? Throwing your balls down 2 alleys? Wow. Because when you're 14, you don't ask your uncle for beer. Try waiting outside a liquor store and look for a guy wearing house slippers and talking to himself. What's his name? And, you know, Jay's like, when did you have your first beer? 13 to 32. And Charlie can only make scrambled eggs. And, you know, Berta's reading, you know, reads the title of the book that Charlie's reading. Cooking for Dummies? Don't take it personal, Jake. I'm actually cooking for everybody. Nice turn on that phrase. And Jake takes advantage of the situation where Alan needs to pretend he has plans with Jake. And, you know, why do these scrambled eggs smell like bourbon? The book said seasoned to taste. Just kidding, I spilled. So he was drinking while cooking. He could have started a fire. You did not make hollandaise sauce. People get drunk while watching the Food Network. And Alan's talking to Jake. You're really gonna study? See that? He respects me enough to lie to me. I leave myself alone till then. And Alan rambles on because he's lying as usual. Meanwhile, Charlie's a master at lying. And Jake insists on the phone, hearing how big the breasts of the girl that Charlie is with are. Believe me, I came as quickly as I could. Drunk Jake is hilarious. I really love how he plays it, and I don't know, I don't remember if there's much more of that, but yeah, I hope so. I also really liked, it was much more, it wasn't as, I don't know the word, he did get drunk in that Christmas special as well. I think the one where Candy and Herb, yeah. Jake took Charlie's advice. The bat rastard. They probably wouldn't have been able to get the actual words in the episode from a minor. Are you up for an R-rated movie? Boobies, no violence. And she tases Alan in the stomach and he flops around like a dying fish. And he can barely walk, stand, or talk. You guys look at me and you think it's easy. What you don't see are all the years of hard work that made me the happy-go-lucky ass wrangler I am today. And finally someone wanted Charlie to make them scrambled eggs. Let's see. Yeah, also I'm really glad that they let Jake be drunk in an episode and that they got there before he came of age. It might have been too early, just a couple of seasons ago, but it wasn't by this point. Again, the Christmas episode, there's not as much detail. We see him drinking what we know is spiked eggnog, and yeah, but here I don't know, I guess the scene rests on it. He's very clearly like drunk to it, yeah. And yeah, I mean, once he's 18, if he gets drunk and he's like, oh wow, he's so drunk that he's being, he's saying and doing stupid things or such, that's just not as funny once he's of age. But the idea of him, like, Charlie told an underage kid how to get drunk, and then he went out and did it. And then Charlie, he maybe feels a little bit bad, but he's also like, you're not going to throw up in my car. I'm telling you, you're not going to throw up in my car. Well, look in the trunk. There's a plastic bag. Okay. Now get inside the trunk and close it after you. Let's see. The Flavin and the Mavin. Let's see. Charlie looks so miserable at being up so early in the morning. You owed me one when I didn't smother you in the crib. But then I owe you two. I said shut up. Yes, you did. Alan was really hoping that Charlie would drive him back home to Malibu at the end of the day for several days in a row. It's like, you've known your brother for how long and you still think that he would do that? And then Alan rambles about Laurel and Hardy, Abbott and Costello, Martin and Lewis and the Three Stooges, and Charlie beats him and says, oh, a wise guy. Alan didn't want Charlie hitting on his attractive receptionist. Charlie, she's the best receptionist I've ever had. I'm hoping the same. No, the coast is not clear. The coast is foggy, dangerous, and strewn with jagged rocks. If I have to, I'll charter one. And, the deck, it's chilly, damp, and covered with pelican poop. Wow, Melissa's short. I get to say that because I'm short too. Who's the Smurf? I didn't let him. Short of drugging him and dumping him in the woods, what can I do? Yeah, he's like an Alabama bloodhound once he gets a whiff. Once he gets a sniff. She says that out and yeah. That's me, no face and no ass. You're planning on defiling her and dumping her like a warm melon. Yeah. Why was that your go-to? You had your share of happiness. Your share, my share, everybody's share. You sucked the marrow out of happiness from the bones of... Oh, just leave her alone, won't you? I love the contrast of Melissa chipper and Alan annoyed and frustrated in the morning. It's like I've known him my whole life. I know the feeling. You get over it. Do I smell toast? I could put peanut butter and jelly on it. Deja vu. And Alan tries to throw up at Charlie's obnoxious fake sweetness. I may not believe you. And Charlie's going to join Melissa in the shower. I'm going to take a shower in Tiny Town. Let's see. 1 second. Gonna have to move the camera just a tiny bit. That is much better. So, again, apologies for bouncing the camera. I forgot to warn. And, Melissa's like, to Alan, can I get you anything? Earplugs would be nice. And that gun I mentioned. Nothing special. I'm only going to use it once. And, Alan and Judith, she's like, why you let Charlie do your receptionist? He twisted my nipples and peed in my office. What? And again, to the audience, we know what that means, but he makes it sound like Charlie just straight up went into his office, peed on the floor, or somewhere else, twisted Alan's nipples and only let go once he agreed to let Charlie do the receptionist, as opposed to, he did twist his nipples, and then he insisted on using the bathroom in Alan's office, but... office. Sorry. Can we please stop calling it hitting? I've got another word, but I don't think you'd like it. What can they do in a minute that they didn't do all weekend? I'm sure a lot of that is friction burn. It comes from a lifetime of you using my life as a specimen cup. Now that I'm hearing it, hidden, it is an ugly term. Sure you don't want to come back to my office and hump my fax machine? Wow, you still have a fax machine? He still had a fax machine? Wow. And Alan's terrified during the drive to work because... Alan terrified during the drive to work because she almost gets them killed is hilarious. And she starts demanding things of him. A raise. Healthcare, a paid vacation. 2 episodes in a row of Charlie basically winning and Alan basically losing. I feel like usually they space those out more. A jockstrap in hell. I don't think that's how it's said in the episode, but I don't remember exactly how it is said right now. And they're buying a jock, they're buying Jake a jockstrap. And it's like, and Charlie's like, oh, they're gonna get out was it like measuring tape or something to measure your balls, and like, and I forget exactly how, but Jake realizes that Charlie's just joking. Don't do that. Charlie Harper, where? He owes me money. Just in case it would work. Oh yeah, Miss Pasternak. Oh yeah, Miss Pasternak. She went bananas and bit the gym teacher. Where? In the gym. And she's like describing, grinding her crotch up against the pole night after night. Have you considered an athletic supporter? How can you live with your stuff, you horrible, evil man? He drinks. And Jake's watching TV and I'm learning how to make apple cinnamon cobbler. Tired of being at the mercy of the dealers, huh? Remember that girl who threw a lit road flare through her bathroom window? Remember the dentist who shot your ass full of Novocaine? That was so funny. You kept falling off the toilet. And, Jake told him what to learn. Try to keep a fire extinguisher by your bed. When a dental hygienist drops a quarter, never bend over to pick it. Never go to a Halloween party with a girl dressed as Robin Hood. Alan, do you think I'm a horrible, evil person? Yes. What? You are. I get it. I'm a malevolent force of nature. Pretty much. She did choose to sleep with you. How much of a life could you have had before you? And Charlie's. How do you know what club she's dancing at? The clubs have websites. The website have pictures. It's not rocket science. Don't talk down to me, Jiminy Cricket. And of course, Alan goes to the strip club. When does Miss Bush come out? When Benjamin Franklin comes out. And Charlie recognizes her by her ass. Which is impressive because she's been recasted. Which I don't necessarily... I think this girl does a great job. It just is a little weird for me that she really does not look that much like Missy Pyle. But I don't know. I don't know the history. Maybe Missy Pyle didn't want to come back. Maybe especially, the stuff that the characters expect to do in this episode, the sexual stuff. Maybe Missy Pyle was uncomfortable with that. I don't know. Alan needs a dance. No, I don't. I'm buying. Do you mind if I take my belt off? I'm playing ring toss with my car keys. Alan, this doesn't concern you. At this point, it kind of does. Come on, hop on pop. If his grade's going to lower, I'll have to start renting out as a speed bump. Excuse me. There we go. That should. There we go. Who am I to judge? I almost traded one of my kids for a riding lawnmower. And by using lap dances, Jake can learn math from Pasternak. Where are you going? Taking a shower. Wow. And Charlie thought she was talking about him giving her back her virginity. Which I think she's talking about like her self-respect or something. And Charlie about her hating him for years. You're right. This is new to me. New for me. This is new for me. Something like that. I think one of those is some approximation. And you're talking about where Alan will sleep, since he's, his pastor night, he's going to sleep in his room. If there was any justice at the bottom of a ravine, and she think God sent Charlie to save her, she's just as religious as the last time we saw her. Or she becomes it when, he shows her any kind of kindness. I really appreciate this follow-up episode where we see a character again that we met before and see how harmful Charlie is, where we get both a before and after kind of. We've seen how harmful Charlie is for some of these women, but this is the first time that we've seen a woman return to the show, a character return to the show, that she was very well adjusted the first time. She was a little obsessive, especially about him and their relationship, but she was a teacher, and she seemed like, she didn't like Jake, and she's supposed to say she likes all the, but let's see. I don't think he sent me. I'm more of a recruiter for the other side. Absolutely love that line. There's peeing in heaven? Weird, both of us being on our knees at the same time. I'm just saying. And Charlie's like, why do you think the worst about me, Alan? Because you're a horrible, evil person. I thought we established that. It's the devil that's making him stupid. Told you it wasn't my fault. Alan, don't you care about if Jake goes to hell? Do they have a college prep program? And Alan just can't stop making jokes about hell. Do you have to wear a jockstrap in hell? Yes, but not your own. And, patronize like all Old Testament. Dope, chop, chop, washy, washy. And Berta is there. I promise I will work really hard at school if you can just get rid of her. A little religion isn't going to kill you. Oh, really? What's your definition of blood-soaked vengeance? And, Berta, why she's starting to try. I just don't want to miss it when you burst into flames. And Charlie does a running jump in still frame away from Pasternak, just like last time. I really love that. After pretending to be on board. And, they come home and he's lying there smoking a cigar and he, tries to hide, yeah. Of course I'm concerned. I tried to hide, didn't I? There was more to melt. She was dripping through the cone when she left the house. And Pasternak climbs onto the deck a la Rose. Wow. And yeah, I didn't put the line in here, but yeah, they talk about how she went berserk again and did something upsetting at the church. I forget the details. It's always Nazi week. Alan and Herb just both keep saying good. I see the new mailbox. And then, talk about the mailbox. Oh, the last guy who did it didn't, he completely. That would be me. I know that the new one says Melnick. Well, I pay for the mailbox. I get my mail there. My name's Melnick. And Judith talking about how long she would like Jake to stay with Alan. 3 months. In a row? Alan, how many sons do you have? As many as you do. Wow. Let's just let him stay for a while and see how it goes. That's what Poland said about the Germans. It's Nazi week on the History Channel. It's always Nazi week. Except for when they're talking about aliens. I thought that I remembered this episode as having a running gag about him comparing things to the Nazis. Maybe that's coming in one of the next couple of seasons. I don't know. You know, like that one episode of I'm With Her where she hopes to impress the smart people at the smart people party with stuff she learns on History Channel, and turns out it's only going to be talking about the Nazis. So she spends, you know, every time she brings something up at the party, it's like Nazi trivia, and yeah. Yeah, and I'm trying to save girls a long walk home on the freeway. You know, pretend to be considerate so you can have sex with them. 31. It's what you get when you add 24 and 7. They're fighting 24/7. 31. You might think I'm dumb, but you overestimate me. Man, I'm not going to make it 3 months. Great, now he's got the moral high ground. Yeah, I guess happiness pretty much sums it up. Hey, Berta. Sorry, that was more supposed to be like, Berta. Norm on cheers. Anyway. Charlie, we're going to have to talk about this. Nice talking to you. Alan is so happy that Herb is having problems with Judith. We usually wait until he puts on headphones before we discuss these things. You should know, don't spoil it. And Herb about him and Judith, you know, arguing a lot. 31. And Charlie, like, really talks Herb's confidence up about his idea that is going to go so horribly for Herb. I get bored. Jake's going to staple his soul back on his shoe while wearing it. None of my business, but that's one kid who can't afford to miss a single day of school. Yeah, like school's gonna make a difference. Charlie's terrified he's gonna catch something from the sick kids. I'm not gonna give you the kids. Keys. Jake actually thought, wow. Wait under the car. Oh, Herb, that wasn't so much advice as social satire. And, like, you know, oh, wait, you know, I did it, and I'm really glad I did it. Oh, so she accepted. Oh no, she tossed me out. And he's still so chipper. Herb's sexual metaphors are really awkward. And, you know, Alan goes, Jake, we do not leave our shoes on the table, you know, and he tries to, and it turns out he stapled it to the table. Staple guns don't staple shoes to coffee table. Idiots do. And, you know, Charlie immediately hangs up on someone. Was that Mom? Did you ever think that I maybe wanted to talk to her? Do you? Of course not. It's the principal. And, you know, Charlie just casually drops into conversation. Herb moved out of Judith's place. Back up. That probably sounds worse than it is. Excuse me. I need to be able to see if there's any, like, thunder and lightning. I'm going to unplug. I don't intend to stop recording, but I'm intending to unplug. Anyway, just, you know, what's it called? The drapes. Curtains. Yeah. Open the curtains. I forget what the saying is, but now I can see outside, but that was just heavy wind and rain. It wasn't actually thunder. Because thunder and lightning is very, very frightening. And, you know, Alan's smiling about Judith's misery. Alan, you got a little evil on your face. Gee, Alan, make yourself at home. Wouldn't it be nice if you could learn that way? Osmosis. And Alan smiles as Judith cries, and he's like, he gives her a hug and he's smiling, and then and Herb is wearing a bowling shirt just like Charlie. It looks ridiculous on him. Can we stop with the fish talk? Believe me, it's not going to lead any place good. And you know, Herb's like, I'll have what he's having. I'm having a total pain in the ass. Sounds good. Does that have any rum in it? And Charlie pretends to be a doctor because they're attracted to it when Herb introduces himself. In the interest of full disclosure, you should know I'm new to the dating world and I still have all my original pubic hair. Talk about blowing a sure thing. They were talking about maybe we should let them examine us. And wow. And Judith and Alan slept together. I'm never gonna let you go again. Never? Never ever? Yikes, he went full Taylor Swift. There's clearly been bad blood between them. Look what Charlie made Herb do. And Charlie makes sure that Jake is actually listening to music, and Jake doesn't even react to having it pulled out of his ear. You might want to change the blade on your razor. Herb shaved his pubic hair. I was in Never Ever Land. I took the staple gun away, but he found the super glue. He glued his hand to the side of his face. To be continued. Cool. Best HO money can buy. And you know, Charlie mentions something like the fourth best type of sex, and it's like, fourth? What are the other? Never mind, I don't want to know. And Alan wants to hide the truth from Jake, and so he lisps through Judas Iscariot because, you know, Judith Iscariot, pretending it's Looney Tunes. And Charlie doesn't want Berta to know. Don't worry, I'm not leaving. Oh, thank God, because I was worried. We should send Jake to military school? What? He wasn't supposed to hear that. You're sending me to military school? You don't shape up? Yeah. And it's not going to be our military either. It's so messed up. If the kid's going to military school, I'll take his room. And Berta knew about Judith. Does she hear everything? Some things I just infer. I mean, to be fair, that it was pretty obvious that they were going to be asking, like, does she, how did she know? Does she hear everything that just, yeah. And Charlie threatens Jake with military school by humming Reveille. Where's that beer, maggot? And, you know, Charlie is, you know, talks to Judith on the phone. It's like, no, Alan's not here. Oh, wait, he just walked in. Why not? But me you see a future with? And Charlie plays the Marines hymn to scare Jake. Judith pours Alan a lot of wine. And Alan forgets the pudding is hot and just takes a mouthful. And Charlie made Jake watch The Deer Hunter. And I think Full Metal Jacket was the other mentioned, and Saving Private Ryan. Wow. Turns out it's actually, and yeah, he says something about actually nice. You're talking about Judith? Who else would I be talking about? I don't know, somebody actually nice? I'm an artist, Alan. I paint with words. You're a lush, Charlie. You paint with vomit. Tell me you didn't have sex again. We didn't. Not technically. Wow. Every teen in the audience knows that means oral sex, but the kids don't. Very nicely done. And again, it's such, usually it's like when a guy is like bragging about a girl, or if he's being asked, why aren't you bragging about the girl? And it's like, we didn't technically have sex, but here it's like, yeah, he's, because it's like, if they had sex again, that would be a bad thing. So just changing the context just enough. I think the show does great at that. You promised I wouldn't have to go. And Jake's like, I'm not going to be able to finish cleaning the deck before it's dark. No problem, I'll give you a hand. Just flips on the light instead. Yeah. And Jake is like, Charlie wants Jake to say no sir. No what? No way? I don't know, but I've been told screwing with Jughead never gets old. And Charlie's like, can I use a rope to lower him to clean something? His waist, not his neck. And I think it's like Herb is there and Alan has to lie to him about like, I forget the details. It's been like 3 weeks since I watched this episode. And, Alan is like trying to get Charlie to help him lie. So it's like, no, you can't, because there's that thing. What was that thing, Charlie? Charlie, I told you about that thing. Tell me again. It's a mystery called Why Are You Doing This to Me? Oh yeah, by the same guy who wrote Because It Amuses Me. But it does not compare to Wait Till Your Liver Fails by I Hope You Die. Alan, please don't say things like that. Of course he's gonna die. It's just a matter of when. He's not a vampire. And now Alan's very careful to blow on the creme brulee. And Judith bangs her head into the table when he mentions Herb just before she's blowing. Twice. And, she's like, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm right. And you're sorry? And, Charlie and Herb with two hookers walk into, it's a Herb, it's a small place now, sees the train. I bet you thought this was going to be weird. Best HO money can buy. They know what they are. I love my wife. I want her back. All aboard? Must have been a difficult decision for Charlie. A threesome with two hookers, or watching Herb catch Alan with Judith. What am I saying? That's awful. He can have a threesome with two hookers anytime. How many times is he gonna see Herb catch Alan with Judith? Yell at you? I'm not yelling at you. I'm not your mother. No, you're not my mother. My mother can emasculate me without raising her voice. And Judith remembers just how bad it is with Alan. Dying alone has got to be better than being stuck with you. Okay, now you're starting to sound like my mother. Thanks for the ride, girls, and for getting me home. They kind of did that joke in an earlier season. Still funny. It could have been worse. I could have had a caboose in my caboose. Come on, that's funny. Missed opportunity to not have Herb actually catch Alan with Judith. I guess, when I noted that, I had forgotten just how, the thing with the kid, that's probably what. Is there an episode down the line where Herb finds out that Judith and Alan, that might be, and, that would explain why. And Charlie really wants his joke validated as being funny. Doorbell, coming. And I think Judith's like, Jake has something to tell you. Jake, my grades aren't good enough for military school, so ha ha. No, sweetheart, the other thing. I'm gonna have a brother or sister. Congratulations. Try to keep this one away from the lead paint. And, Charlie points out via hint that it's probably Alan's, and Herb is completely oblivious to that. He's doing math in his head. Yeah, that's a bitch. So, that takes us up to Pinocchio's mouth. Charlie, please don't start anything. Too late. I woke up, started. Of course not. And he mimics shooting himself in the mouth. And, Alan's Jake, what did you do? I'm guessing you either robbed a liquor store or killed a drifter. You've got the spine of a gummy bear. Please, Berta. Gummy worm. I'm sorry, just remembering my prom. What happened? Near the end of high school, that night, I thought it would be fun to drive the backhoe. I was talking to Jake. Well, excuse me for sharing. Poor you. You have to drive 45 minutes to get laid. And 45 minutes back. And 30 minutes behind. Well, I don't have to draw you a picture. And, Alan's on about traffic. There are other people with cars living lives completely separate from your own. Oh, right. I hate those people. Excuse me. And, Charlie's talking about parking under trees. Trees have that toxic syrup that falls out of them. Sap. If I make that drive, I am. I would have walked here if I had to. I would have been fast with the traffic. You got 3 rooms and a bath, so 4. So this is Charlie talking about how many TVs Chelsea needs. Everything about being at Chelsea's place makes Charlie uncomfortable. You think, and Charlie about Chelsea being inflexible. Not physically. How about this? If I sleep on your side and a burglar comes in, I can jump out and stop him. But this way, you're pretty much guaranteed to catch the first bullet. What if he comes through the window? Oh, great. Now I'm never going to get to sleep. And Alan almost catches Jake watching TV, but Jake runs out the door, locked himself out there, and believed that Alan was actually leaving. Did they always have a door there? I don't remember seeing it before, but if it was added for this gag, it was well worth it. And, a dog barks outside Jason. It's like trying to sleep in the freaking jungle. I'd say someone woke up on the wrong side of the bed, but I don't want to revisit that topic. And, trying about why Chelsea might be mad at him possibly crippling her cat. Jake was outside all night and slept on the deck, and he gets scared by a seagull that landed on him. I was, camping? I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it, Alan. It happens to all men, especially when you get to be your age. All right, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? The adults in the audience knows what he was talking about. That's not sleeping, that's passing out. You've gone in the trunk of your car? No, yours. That was you? I convinced myself a coyote had gotten in there. And Jake plays with his tongue on the piano keys. Jake, don't lick your uncle's piano. Considering Jake, Charlie should probably be happy didn't catch him going full Ron Jeremy on that thing. I've already read a book. Then go lick a book. I should keep Jake busy, rearranging the books in the entire library by the Danny Decimal System. Flavor. Here's your overnight bag. That's all for one night? One night and one morning meeting with Pinocchio. He ain't gonna make it. Not a chance. Don't get your hopes up, but I'm gonna make the effort. Wow. And it looked like the seagull shook his head, answering no to Alan's question. Have you seen my son? Yeah. Good job by the animal wranglers. And Alan to Jake, who doesn't know, don't touch the jam, because Charlie uses it on his or her ass. And, Chelsea realizes, about it, masturbation. That's right, I do have one of those. Go home. No, I made a mistake. From now on, we'll sleep at your place. This is the last time that they sleep together at her place, isn't it? I mean, she ends up moving in with him, but this is the last time that both of them are at her place at the same time. You really should have done on that thing. You just can't stop stepping on a cat. And then Alan is using Charlie's bathtub. Excuse me. Crap, what was I going to say? In this entire season, we don't actually see the cat. We just see the mess it makes and hear Charlie stepping on it. I forget if we see it next season. The Mooch at the Boo. Excuse me. Excuse me. It's cold. And you haven't been to our house, have you? I checked on Google Alert, it's still there. At least the roof is, anyway. Damn, I was so ready to bust her balls. And, Charlie to Alan about if he hurts the car. Keep driving until you get to Mexico, then bury yourself in the desert. And Jake falls off the deck. Hey, you know the rule. If there's topless sunbathers, you don't hang out and stare at them. You come get Uncle Charlie. And, Jake about why he doesn't introduce himself to the girl he likes. I can't do that. I'd look desperate. You are desperate. Hello? That's all you got? That's all I got that you can use. Sorry. Michael Clark Duncan. I love him in everything I've watched him in. R.I.P. And Jake is terrified of Jerome Burnett, Celeste's father. And, Charlie asks, so you can get, tickets, let me know what game you want them for. So you can get them, the what's it called, the box. Not a problem. So, hypothetically, if someone was hurt, would you get the information before the, what are they called? Bookies? Don't push it, Charlie. And Jake can just barely get past Burnett in the doorway. And in the gag reel, there's this bit where Jake just can't, Angus C. Jones, who plays Jake, can't keep himself from cracking up. and Michael Clark Duncan just like his body language, suddenly he's not even remotely threatening looking, you know, and it's this, you know, because he breaks character. And yeah, you know, despite some of the characters he played, I don't really get the sense that he was an angry and threatening person when out of character, which, you know, he did also play some characters, you know, the Green Mile, I want to say it's called. That boy touches my daughter, I'm going to be touching you. Understood? Can I use your bathroom? And, you know, the Alan is, you know, taking Charlie's car, and, you know, and he'll go, is that yours? Yes, it is mine. Stop talking about your toenails, Alan. Literally, no one calls it the boo. Alan, when a woman says, I'm starving, that means, oh, okay, you got it. Where's my little girl? And you know, Charlie's like, I'm gonna call him, you know. And then the ringtone starts as, oh crap, that means that he's not gonna be able to get Jake on the phone. And then it starts, you know, how it's this, the ringtone is this rap about how, you know, I forget the exact details, but it's very disrespectful of like women. It's like, I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna have sex with this girl, and it raps, my chocolate dream. Just, you know, yes, sorry, skipped ahead a little bit. You know, Charlie about Jake's ringtone. Oh, that's unfortunate on so many levels. And it just keeps playing, and he's like covering Jake's cell phone with his hand, and yeah, raps my chocolate dream. They're really milking this thing. And then he starts dancing to it. Burnett is not amused. And now Charlie's the mooch. The mooch at the boo. And Alan won't help Charlie because the girl is there. And, you know, Burnett is standing behind him, towering over him. I thought it was an eclipse. And some transphobia with cross-dressing jokes. Unless your daughter's made of donuts, which I'm assuming she's not. You can't kill us all. I could try. Let me start again. Yeah, that was really not a good angle to come at that from Charlie. But yeah, he's freaked out, so he's not on his A game. And then Diane stole Charlie's car, and Evelyn catches Alan in the dress. And, you know, they're talking about, you know, Burnett, his wife left him for this other guy. That guy can sure split the uprights in a football manner of speaking. Act like nothing's happened. You think something happened? You don't have to do that. I'll just grab my keys and let's go. Am I going to be walking again? Cool it with Celeste. And change your ringtone. But he hates wasting $1.99. He paid good money for this. And Charlie sees Burnett's face through the little door in the door. She wanted to kiss him? You may have bigger problems than you thought. Alan, why are you in Mexico? He smelled the ham. He got excited. You mean this isn't just a nice, warm family dinner? Knock it off, Charlie. I have some good news, and no, I'm not dying. So you're thinking about dying? Trust me, darling. I intend to stay around long enough to identify your bloated syphilitic remains. So we have a time frame. And, you know, Evelyn is like, you know, she's going to pay to make sure that Jake goes to college. You're going to buy a college? You going to buy a college? Did you hear? Grandma's sending you to college. Now, I haven't finished my soup. Maybe there should be one child left behind. Jake, do you understand what Grandma's offering? More school. Big whoop. That's insane. Of him or of her? Your self-respect? No, Judith got that in the divorce. If he gets any further up her keister, we're going to have to tie a rope to his feet. And Jake is like, you know what kind of car it's really like? A used police car. I don't know. The police? Is he gonna go Blues Brothers? Slap her on the ass at Christmas, doesn't stop shaking till New Year's Eve. And Alan still has the same receptionist, which I appreciate. I didn't realize when voice typing that line that they were going to make even more continuity with her. I forgot. I had forgotten since it had been so long. Our plans, are you going to? Because that changes everything. And, Evelyn's on my college. What makes you think you flung out? History. There's a 66 chance I might have to repeat the 8th grade. 66 at least. Maybe 70-40. Wow. I think part of what's impressive about that is that's not even the... If he had at least said 70-50, then it'd be like, oh, okay, he thinks that there's 120% instead of 100%. Okay, I mean, that's, maybe you can adjust that. Maybe you can slowly work him to the point where he realizes, no, 100%, that's the full amount. But then he goes 70-40, which is 110. So he doesn't understand at all how that's supposed to work. You know what I could drive if I were a chef? The Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. And, Alan's holding the kayak. I got a kayak. You don't say. And Alan keeps smashing the windows with the kayak by accident. Bon appetit. Cheat. No, that's a cow's boob. And, Jake's been cooking for Evelyn. And, he's going to go out and get another dish. And then, smoke billows out of Evelyn's kitchen after that. You know what? Let's settle this car thing first. Because he's like, she's not going to give me a car when she realizes I burned her kitchen down. Aurora Borealis, at this time of year, at this time of day, in this part of the country, localized entirely within your kitchen. And Charlie, about what Alan did in the kayaking, master yakking. She's trying to kill you. I don't know. Why do I want to kill you? Why does your ex-wife want to kill you? You bring that out in people. And Jake wants a used fire truck for a college car. And Charlie wants rent from Alan to give Alan's life meaning. And if you fall behind, I get to hit you with a stick. That's my carrot. I don't need to say. So if I pay this, that means I get to say, no. If you want to say, this is the number. I don't need to say. And I guess this means that Jake will still go to college. So, this isn't the last episode where they talk about him. Wait, no. Is it? Anyway, I guess that's... And Alan keeps trying to talk his way out of having to pay rent. And Charlie hits him with the broomstick from behind off screen after pretending to agree that the rent can wait and the number can go down. Excuse me. Yeah, he talks about how the market crashed, the crash, yeah. And the episode was 2008, so. The devil's lube. The full line is spits the devil's lube. Yeah, now they're also talking about the car. So, yeah. So she didn't renege on that after the end of last episode, apparently. And he's obsessed with the car and the kind of fuel it can use. Excuse me. French fry grease. And, Alan's like, you're not going to get a Hummer even in 2 years. You say you want me to open up to you, but what's the point? Let's see, this might be. This is the brother I never had. And I appreciate that's Charlie Sheen's real life brother, I'm pretty sure. Related, at least. How nice for you. I don't mean it that way. You're my brother. Thank you. I like him better. And the thing about, he, what's it called? He hitchhiked across America, without wearing pants. Anybody can do it with a thumb. And then, it's like, Andy's clearly dead. Who's your favorite brother now? So he died right out there on the deck, huh? Remind me to flip that cushion. That'll do. That's plenty. Excuse me, I'm standing right here. But for how long? Did you get that one? Good one. You're not getting any of these, are you? Are you? Sorry. All right, I'm out of here. How about you, Charlie? And your Berta will immediately take the vacation. Alan actually thinks Charlie will, or at least might, get him a new car. Doesn't have to be new. Certified pre-owned is still very thoughtful. And Jake's like trying to do research about the car. You wouldn't believe what comes up when you Google Hummer. Excuse me. You need to relax or give yourself a heart attack. Have a sandwich. That always relaxes me. And Charlie will give Evelyn a gift, but not Alan. And, Evelyn gets this watch. The best part is now I don't have to wear my good one every day. Since, of course, this is not as good as the one she already has. And Charlie's like, I love you, Mom. You didn't drive over here drunk, did you? Did you find another lump on your penis? Penis is fine. I don't know how worn down to a knob can be fine, but all right. And, it's this thing about, Andy's being buried. Don't cheap out. It's one thing to do it with a watch, but a casket is forever. What can I say? I take care of the people I love. Could have taken care of me with a frickin' robe. Oh, now I'm your funeral planner. Don't you want a friend or someone you really care about taking care of that? No, you do it. And that really is James Earl Jones. Charlie imagines his own funeral, of course. Give the people what they want. You mean the open bar, right? Sure. And heaven is great. There's, he explains all this stuff. And then he's like, I went to hell. Then how do you know about heaven? They make us look at a video every day while they're putting lube on the pitchfork. I used to get lube only on the middle prong. Excuse me. Alan makes such bad jokes in the eulogy. What to say about Charlie? So many words come to mind. So few you can say in church. so full of love that it practically oozed out of him, at which point he would see a doctor. But I kid the deceased warmonger. And Alan inherited everything from Charlie, and finally he's no longer cheap. And the women come just to spit in his face, which, you know, it's basically a visual version of that, you know, a few seasons ago, you know, Jake was like, how many of those girls would come to your funeral? And Charlie's like, well, okay, some of them would come just to make sure I was really dead. Just so you know, spit is the devil's lube. It's pitchfork time. If you're late, you don't get the spit. And believe me, Charlie, you want the spit. And he wakes up, I want the spit! Always a good thing to say in a church. It's Charlie Harper. You took my blood and stuck a camera up the hard darkness. I lay more pipe than a guy who has sex with pipes. And Charlie thinks Rose is there for him more than Alan is, and Rose was driving right behind them. So, Rose, haven't seen you in a while. Can't say the same. And again, she's like, just the way she says it, that there's this kind of like, you know, it's not just like, you know, well, I've been watching you every day. And it's just, well, you know, I have been watching you, so it's just, and, you know, Charlie gets down on his knees about to propose to Rose, and then, you know, the phone rings. I'm sorry, let me just get rid of this. Oh, it's my doctor. Hey, doc, what's the word? No liver damage whatsoever? What about my heart? Well, that's terrific. Lungs? Oh, good, so I don't have to give up cigars. I won't overdo it. Except when I drink. Speaking of which, how's the plumbing? Does that include prostate? Alright, well, thanks for getting back to me so soon. Again, I'm sorry about the name calling when you stuck your finger up there. And, you know, hangs up, and he's like still on his knees, and Rose, this is awkward. Wow. And he backs out of proposing to her. He's gonna live forever. No, it's just gonna seem like forever. And Berta's going to inherit the house from Charlie instead of Alan. In the revised will, because before it really might have been Alan, yeah. In case tragedy strikes, be prepared to clear crap out of here in 48 hours. Son of a bitch. And now it's James Earl Jones going men instead of the choir. And this is going by very fast. It's not that I love this season. I don't know. Sometimes it's, yeah, it just goes by weirdly fast. Thank God for scoliosis. Alan and Melissa just keep flirting, and then they just keep kissing each other. They did a really good job on that. It's like, you know, always nice to see your smiling face. Well, it's only smiling because it's looking at you. And yeah, I'm sorry, I don't offhand remember more of. And yeah, and then there's like, there's something about like, we should stop or something. She's like, why don't you make me stop or something, yeah. And Alan grabs the geography book or chart to cover his groin. And, you know, I'll get in a little. Well, you're the boss. You can get in anytime you want. And they kiss again. I actually came here for quiet time. And, you know, Charlie, you know, just turn on the TV. Still quiet and sleeping under the Santa Monica Pier. Quiet time. And, you know, you remember my receptionist, the itsy bitsy spider who climbed up my water spout? Wow. Again, very nicely, just completely changes the context of that. I was just asking, I don't have to bite my head off. little kissing and she could feel my enthusiasm. What are you, Noel coward? Just say boner. Why do I bother talking to you? Beats the crap out of me. You don't dip your pen in company ink, and you never be with a woman who owns a snake or a bird. They're usually nuts. What do you mean, what happened? He's Greek, a man of passion. Can't tie your shoes around guys like that. That's rough. Bet your ass it's rough. You're gonna wake up with a broken heart and a lollipop stuck to your keister. You want to explain that to me? I'd rather forget I ever heard it. Nothing for half an hour. Yippers. Wide open. I also really like how she's like so chipper and cheery and yeah. Managed to keep your hands off really little Annie Fanny? I haven't checked, but I'm pretty sure my balls look like 2/3 of the Blue Man Group. Wow. And, you know, Jake is like, I'm hungry. Then why don't you eat something? There's nothing here I like. Welcome to my world. Thanks, but I'm already healthy. I'll have a hamburger. Jake, you're maroon. You're lucky you're getting dinner. Step aside, Grandpa. Fine, I'll just go tell Janine you want me to wait in the car so you can try to have sex with her. Sit down, little bastard. And Shelley shows pictures of Melissa being born. Like popping out a ping pong ball. I really love how direct and perceptive Shelley is. If you're feeling like you want to push the envelope, the Kama Sutra's in the bookcase. Mom never really made it home from Woodstock. Charlie tries to embarrass Jake, and Jake fires back repeatedly. You don't know who you're messing with. And there's, well, what do you mean? I think she's gorgeous. Pow, pow. You don't know who you're messing with. Again, this is my absolute favorite version of Jake, where he is not just hungry or lazy or stupid, but actually actively and intentionally sabotaging Charlie. He wants Janine at least as badly as Charlie does, and he's not going to give. Alan, would you be totally weirded out by a little mother-daughter tag team? Ah, screw it, I'm going to go play with myself. That I didn't want to know. It's not a bad idea. I apparently forgot to voice type that, but I really like the actress who plays Shelley. Let me see, it's possible that I didn't type it, but it might be in the, yeah, Carol Kane. I think everything I've seen her in, I've really, really loved her in. She's incredibly funny. I think you offended Don. Again, not gonna do the accent. Keep your money, Mr. Trump. You need it more than I do. And I'm still having a better night than you are. One fresh-faced little filly. Sans wee-wee. Technically, maybe neither one of you is the father. Oh, dear God, Charlie, what have you done? I mean, it's a pretty obvious, yeah, when he says something like that, you have to assume that he knows, yeah. That's really funny. Like Charlie's, he's like spent some hours trying to figure out how to break it gently, and he's like, you know, Alan, technically it's possible that neither one of you is the father. I'm just, you know, maybe someone, it's just, yeah. And they're talking about, like, you know, how Jake is like a monkey or something. He comes in, grabs a banana, and like scratches his belly. He's not a monkey. And yeah, the you know, why do we have to watch what you want to watch on TV, something like that. And it's like, you know, because I bought everything around here. All right, play the money card. It's all you got. That's all I need. Now shut up. No, you shut up. I'm only leaving because I'm bored. If he keeps growing, I'm screwed. Yeah. Within the next seasons, I really do hope that they keep going in that direction, because that really is, yeah. What do you know about poetry, you monkey? And the Herb's painting the baby's room, and Alan's like, just call me Vincent Van Going to help you. Unicorns? Herb, that's just a pony with a stripe on. I came to apologize for threatening to beat you up. I wouldn't really do that. You couldn't really do that. Again, love this version of Jake. And Charlie's offering Jake pizza. I've seen you lick the box. My mother's second child ruined my life. That's my dad. Uh-huh. It's like, so you know. And Alan keeps trying to micromanage the kid because it's his. If not for me, our little girl would be surrounded by metaphorical pony peni. And, Judith is talking about, like, if Alan doesn't leave, I'll stick a gun in your mouth and paint the walls with your brains. Wow. Yeah, I'm not sure that's the exact quote, but sometimes this moves too fast for me to voice type accurately. Yeah, I did voice type. Again, I really like Jake in this episode. Not just hungry or lazy, not scared of Charlie, and mocking him even to his face. And transphobia with the Bangkok story. Charlie doesn't even know how old Jake is. Didn't Herb already know about the rehab in the Christmas episode where he hit on Candy? I don't know, maybe it got a lot worse and Judith didn't tell him. Yeah. Or maybe she hadn't told him just how bad it got. I don't know. That's not the scary part. We heard baby Jake shrieking. We found him with his head stuck in a doggy door, fighting off a raccoon. So Alan was lying about the severity of Judith's mother's breakdown. And transphobia with Jake looking like a girl playing his own sister. I do appreciate that, like, they, just, immediately it's like, so you got any food? And scratching his ass. Just scratching her ass, yeah. She's scratching her ass, sorry. David Copperfield slipped me a roofie. Right, Melissa is still with Alan. They're both very forgiving of that awkward incident with her mother. And, the Alan and Melissa, they've got like one, pork sausage left, and they're like, gonna eat it together, and they're doing the Lady in the Tramp thing, And Charlie comes in, nothing says love like a little morning pork. No, Alan, I want so much frickin' money that I'm embarrassed to go back. And, Melissa's like, of course I remember somebody. He's the one who deflowered me and then dumped me. No offense, sweetheart, but your flower had been plucked and potted before I met you. Wow. Okay, we have to be awkward. And, Charlie's like, you mean so much to me, and she's like, it's not about that. Oh, good, because even I didn't believe that. And Charlie gets Melissa to call Evelyn about Alan's birthday. Wait till she hears he's 40. And, we got Charlie's inner monologue as he pretends to be asleep on the bed in front of Evelyn. Don't move, don't blink. Maybe she thinks you're dead and leave. I know you can hear me, Charlie. She's bluffing. And, like, she's covering his mouth and his nose. Just stay still. Okay, don't panic. You've experienced oxygen deprivation before. I'm not sure I want to know the context. I mean, is that because he partied too hard, or is that because a girl was into... I don't want to know the context. I'm sure now that I don't want to know the context. And Evelyn is like, can you explain the unsettling answering machine I've received? Sometimes the liquor makes me say hateful things. Berta, were you cleaning the bathroom all this time? Sure, let's say I was cleaning. And Alan's so excited they're planning his birthday. Oh, great. Now we have to throw him a party. And Jake wants to borrow Charlie's car to impress a girl. How many times do you turn 40? In my family, 3 or 4. And Alan about how he knows they're coming to his birthday, and one of the things he says, Berta says she had to quit early because she had to go to some loser's birthday party. Oh good, I had her down as a maybe. And Alan's so excited for the birthday surprise. So, the moment that they walk into the first room, he's like, oh my god, such as, I didn't expect you here. And everyone's just staring at him. He's like, sorry. And she's like, I got us a private room, And opening his eyes and the room's empty. Oh my god, I can't believe it. And none of them showed up, or so Alan thinks. And it's like, what do you expect? My family's a bunch of thoughtless, heartless butt wipes. And turns the corner, and there they are. And Charlie just deadpans, surprise. Sweetie, save your breath, because I'm way too toasted to remember a lot of names. Oh, Brad. Zippy, when you first moved in, I didn't care for you at all. You were a persnickety, righteous son of a bitch. Here we are, 6 years later, and she sits down, clearly done with the speech. That is a lot like the time that they're like doing an intervention for Alan. I think it's when he's about to get back with Judith or something, and Rose is like, I didn't like you at all, and just, and now it doesn't bother me so much. And yeah, again, the joke delivery is different enough that, I absolutely love the speeches. Why did you even show up? I can't speak for anybody else, but I'm getting overtime. And, Shelley's, grabbing all this bread and leaving. Sorry, this is the best bread I ever had. And Berta's passed out on Charlie's sofa. Berta, who wants to know? She's got the cloth over her face, and yeah. And how she's so wasted with a magician back at his place. He has his own place, technically his van. And turns to Evelyn on the phone about Alan being missing. I'm sure he'll come back eventually. He always does. Should have named him Herpes. Yeah, I wish I thought of that last night too. And Jake didn't even notice Alan was gone. Herpes Jr. And Charlie about how Alan is milking it. Sounds like milk to me. I need to go somewhere where I'm appreciated. Moo. What'd you forget? My son. I really love Melissa and Alan's faces after Shelley says Jake will grow into righteous chronic. I'm not stuff, Uncle Charlie. I'm a human being. Don't flatter yourself. Turn off the TV. I'm taking you to Mexico. Can I drive? Because Herb and Judith went to Mexico, so they can't take care of him while Alan's gone. Do not eat cake made by Shelley. Is that nutmeg? You know what? You might want to start with half a piece. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to overdo the accent. Yeah. And Jake is so oblivious to Alan being gone. And Alan and Shelley are listening to Me in White Satin. And Alan ended up in bed with Shelley. And he's too oblivious to even apologize to Melissa. Yeah, and that was the line from Melissa about the tolerance for Shelley and Alan getting too personal. Not that I blame her, mind you, but yeah, he's not like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, or even, I only did it with her because I'm in love with you. He's just like, oh hi Melissa, yeah. Wow. I'm back. I'm shocked. Hey, Alan. Happy birthday. Told you he'd be back. Who? I'd like to start with the cat. There we go. So Chelsea's back. Back again. Tell Charlie. And, Charlie's like, I'm gonna get some pudding. You want some? And she's like crying. You have a bad experience with pudding? What are we doing, Charlie? You're crying, and my best guess is I'm about to apologize for something. That sums up so much of, like, yeah. No, I'm not gonna go down that road right now. And, Charlie is working his way to remembering Chelsea's middle name. Sunburn boobs. What? I have a system. Red boobs, red breasts, Robin. And then it wasn't even the right name. It's not a perfect system. Wow. And, it's like, what, yeah, he asks, what is it that he doesn't know about her? And she lists a lot. And, okay, I'd like to start with the cat. Going to go with Fluffy. Snowball? Tiger? Whiskers? Wow. I do care, I just don't pay close attention. I mean, I pay attention, but I don't test well. And Alan knows her middle name, even though Charlie doesn't. And what you don't realize at this point in the episode, I think everything else he says about stuff stuff to know about Chelsea is intentionally wrong, so that Charlie will think that he has the right answer and be wrong and be really embarrassed with Chelsea. And that's, the moment that he realized, no, that he can really screw with Charlie over this. Yeah, gotta watch the skies. Or the skis. She wants more out of our relationship. What does she want more of? No, it's not pudding. Tell me what's more important to know. Her cat's name, or which part of her body not to sneak up on. I've never been mule kicked for not knowing a cat's name. Mandu? Like Cat Mandu. Then why was I thinking Puss Puss? Because that's what you're always thinking. And, Charlie's talking about, like, he's too oblivious to realize what his problem is. And he describes what has been going on, and, the therapist's like, what? It's nothing, it's just sometimes I feel like I'm stealing money from you. Tell me more. Charlie brought so much dessert. Come on, Charlie, Dr. Seuss could diagnose this. You're stuffing yourself to suppress your negative feelings. No, I'm pretty sure that's why I drink. I'm sensing some sarcasm. Good, finally we're making some progress. Finally he understands something, she said. And, Charlie realized that Alan told him that Chelsea was from there, that she wasn't. Bastard set me up. And, I'm seeing a therapist, she's a real ball buster. Ball buster. In a good way. Buster of emotional balls. You should really meet her. Are you suggesting we go to couples counseling? Sure. I mean, I want to work on our relationship, and what better way than couples counseling? Are you serious? Of course I'm serious. You think I'd say something like that in a desperate attempt to keep you from leaving? And Jake wrote his name on pudding cups so that Charlie will not eat it, and he still does. And those were like ones that Jake bought with his own money. I love Alan's description of couples counseling. Okay, I'm going to try to read just some of it, because I just, this episode, I don't know, a week and a half ago that I watched it, but the part of it was in the gag reel, so heard it again there. Oh, couples counseling is great. You get to watch as you pay a stranger to watch as your marriage, your house, and your self-esteem is flushed down the toilet. And he's like, God bless couples counseling. When we started, Judith and I were just a couple with some problems. When we finished, I can't deliver a new couch. Oh yeah, that's God bless couples counseling. And Alan talked Charlie into bringing presents to the first day of couples counseling. And Charlie realizes that, and does the name Mandu mean anything to you? No. I'm gonna kill him. Where do you think you're going? Nowhere. He's planning to stop Thanos. Are you seriously gonna stop him from stopping Thanos? Charlie, stop talking about Strange. And it's this thing of like, I've really improved. Tell her, Doc. He passed up Strange. And I used to live for Strange. The first time we were together, she was the Strange. Charlie, as your therapist, can I give you some advice? Sure. Shut up. And, Charlie is like, he makes a promise that, certainly both Charlie and the therapist knows he can't keep. Sorry, that was probably unprofessional. And, Charlie, after the therapist goes over his issues, that was a rhetorical question. And Alan's wearing a football helmet so Charlie can't hurt him too badly. And, he asks Alan, why did you trick me into saying something stupid? It triggered him again. You know what? I've been asking myself that same thing, and the only thing I can come up with is it's really, really funny. And he's like, is it, how much you paying for this? Oh, that's, licensed. And it's like twice a month or once every week? I forget. Keep drinking that old Kool-Aid. And Charlie hits Alan off screen and we hear the thud. Oh, and also real quick gonna deal with that, and there we go. She'll still be dead at halftime. And, Chelsea's like, it seems like maybe it should, basketball should be like, more like boxing, with weight classes. So you think that all basketball players should be, what is it, 6'2" or something, and only play other teams who are 6'2"? Yeah. Good idea. You really mean that? No, but it seems less likely to start a fight than that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And yet you said it anyway. And there's the thing of, my ex's mother died, and I want to go to the funeral, and Charlie just cannot let this go. Are you jealous? No, I'm not jealous. Okay, maybe a little, in the sense that his mother is dead. And Charlie, that kind of thing is overrated. I have to laugh through the pain. It's my coping mechanism. I suppose at this point I should say, for those not in the know, my mother is dead. And I am not as old as Charlie Sheen was when they recorded this. And I think that's as far as I'm going to go on this. Charlie talking to Chelsea about the X. I just know from experience that penises do not observe a traditional mourning period. And, the Charlie's like, because he's not doing anything with Chelsea, he's like, so what do you guys want to do anything? And Alan's like, so you just assume that we're free? And then Jake's like, I'm free. Me too. I'm just making a point. And Jake keeps disliking Alan's fancy word choices. This is why Mom gets pissed off at you so much. If I could live with myself, we'd be having this discussion by telephone. See, him I understand. And, the Charlie's about the drawer of sex toys. Careful, the big one's a flashlight. Why would you keep that in the same drawer? And Chelsea's heading back, and Wanda's still in his room. She's already on the road. That close, huh? Wow. And Wanda's totally knocked out because of all the liquor. We specifically saw that she's drinking a lot. Like, he poured a lot of liquor on her, whatever the saying is. And, let's see. Yeah, Alan and Jake are sitting watching TV, watching Back to the Future, and it's like, the car is called a DeLorean. Oh, okay. And Charlie comes down. Alan, I have a huge crisis. What is it? There's a girl knocked out in my room, and Chelsea's on her way. Funny thing about the DeLorean, it was made by a guy called John DeLorean. Alan, I'm having a crisis. No, a girl knocked out in your room is just business as usual. A crisis would be if she were dead, And and he's like, I have a half-naked girl knocked out in my room. Half-naked? I'm your man. Well, of course I've tried waking her up. This is not my first drunk bimbo. And Jake just keeps trying to get in on helping with the half-naked girl. Why don't you just throw a rag of chloroform over her head and move her into your panel van? Sounds like a waste of chloroform. And they're, trying to carry Wanda down the stairs. Slowly, and the doorbell. Quickly. I just ripped an air biscuit. I farted. Sorry, I get the fancy words from my dad. And, Charlie about Jake. He keeps his feelings bottled up. Everything else he shoots into the atmosphere. And Jake extorts them about Wanda. Again, this is the Jake that I like. And what about the $20 you owe me, Charlie? And he gets out his wallet and hands him. And I could have said 100. I could have said 40, couldn't I? You could have said 100. I love the brothers talking in code. And, what do you need to talk to me about? Recycling. I'm not quite sure what to do with the big jugs. Wow. Because they were talking about taking out the trash. And Alan just keeps rambling. I know what a continental breakfast is. And Jake wants a picture of himself with Wanda and truly believes that Alan is not only going to let him, but he's going to take the picture. And Wanda wakes up and recognizes herself in one of Jake's posters. That's how he kept recognizing her. And then, Charlie and Chelsea are in bed, and Wanda just walks in, grabs the shoes from Charlie's bedroom, and walks out. Funny story. Get in the car. Where are we going? Anywhere we want. We got Uncle Charlie's credit card. And after this episode, they're still together, so I guess somehow he got out of, unless I'm terribly mistaken, he literally called Wanda because he wanted to cheat on Chelsea since he was sure that she was cheating on him. So, he didn't go through with it, but he got a woman there. The only reason he didn't go through with it was because she called him before he got to the part where he went through with it. If she had called just a little later, he would have been in the middle of things. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that one. The Accu or the Pado? I'm not always good. It's just off the top of my head coming up with, but occasionally I have my moments. I'm not trying to brag or humble brag or anything. And Charlie actually said, "I love you" to Chelsea. Do you really mean that? Actually, yes, I do. I love you, Chelsea. That's so sweet. Thank you. And then she walks away. No, thank you. And, talking about, I said, "I love you," and she said, "Thank you." That's a nice cue to the man sack. There's that sensitivity again. When women do tell you they love you, it usually ends with them throwing a lit road flare through the bedroom window. It happened one time. As they mentioned that in the other episode. I appreciate them bringing it back because it's really, really funny. Once again, a one-time occurrence. Oh sure, reach for the stars. And the therapist in Charlie, and she's he's like, you made a huge mistake. You got me to you wanted to fix me, and now I told Chelsea I love. Sorry, I must have been drunk. No, it's too late for excuses. And something like, do you want to talk about something else? Sure, let's talk about how I dreamt I went into a donut shaped like my mother. Okay, we're going to have to talk about that at some point. I'm just kidding about the dream. I know, but the fact that you chose that particular imagery is unsettling. This process really isn't about me guessing, Charlie. Are you not listening to a thing I say? I drift in and out. Oh, now you're guessing. A minute ago, that's not how the process works. A minute ago, it didn't. Huh. I really don't like it when you give me the huh. Huh. Now you're just screwing with me. There's no sliding anything past you. I love the third. If they had done like a spin-off of just her with like various patients or something, I would have watched that. That's Has she starred in anything, or is she usually? I mean, she's one of a number. I mean, she's basically, it's an ensemble cast in the Best in Show, if I recall. Like Parker Posey also has a bunch of scenes in that, for example. Yeah, I don't offend. I'm not sure if she has starred in anything, but if she has, I would probably watch it almost regardless of what it is. Wow. What's wow? Kind of like huh, but with a w and an ow. Huh. Why does everybody go huh? What's with the huh? I feel for you. I once loved a guy who didn't love me back. What did you do? 90 days in counting. Plus anger management classes, which by the way are a total freaking waste of time. What part of Occupado don't you understand? The Accu or the Pado? I finally figured out how to get an I love you from Chelsea. You'll get one from me if you leave right now. And, Charlie presents to me. Oh, Charlie, it's so sudden. If you give me a few minutes, I'll have a present for you. There are a lot of jokes like that when someone pretends the wedding ring is for them rather than them being told about a wedding to someone else. But when it's this funny, I really love it. It's just, Bobby the waiter. And Bobby thinks that Charlie needs to escape because he's breaking up. I think we need to get some coffee into you. I'm not drunk. I know exactly what I'm doing. As always. Excuse me. Every night with you is a special occasion. I'm going to miss you, sir. And, Bobby is like, has to just try. Oh my God. Is that a heart attack? Are you okay? And like, plink, the ring goes into the champagne glass. Yes, I am. And it just leaves. The one waiter in LA who's not an actor. Charlie, that is a ridiculous overgeneralization. Some of them are writers. And then, she just, chugs the champagne. Like, what the hell was that? And I forget what exactly he says, but he says something about how it's incredibly expensive. And I was going to propose, and I didn't know you were going to chuck it like a Jello shot. And he's like, I didn't, you swallowed it so easily. That's one of your favorite things about me. And and then you ruined the mood. I ruined the mood? Okay, there's no point in assigning blame. I mean, to be fair, his reaction to her chugging the champagne wasn't exactly, like, super romantic. You understand his reaction, but it wasn't exactly, yeah. And then, the nickels, the poop, yeah. Jake keeps pooping out nickels occasionally, still. Between you and me, I'm not even sure they're the same nickels. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. There's no point in assigning blame. I was hoping, I was gonna propose so you'd say you love me, so we could be even. So we could be even? I meant so that we can be even closer. Okay, that's lame. But don't blame me. Blame my shrink. If I was properly medicated, we wouldn't be having this conversation. And that's also, that was also something they talked about, how, like, yeah. And Charlie doesn't even care that she won't marry him, or at least right away. Okay, what kind of Martha Stewart freak show you got going on up there? I don't need the details. I just need to know whether to wash it or throw it away when you're done. You probably want to throw it away. What do you mean, when's the wedding? Nobody's getting married. I'm just engaged. And then Jake thinks that Chelsea swallowed nickels. Charlie, I swear to God, if you do not walk away from that door, I will eat a block of cheese and you will never see that ring again. Geek. Oh, Charlie, it's beautiful. Again, like, we've seen so many scenes of, like, a girl, seeing the ring, being proposed to, and being like, oh, it's so beautiful, but it's not usually that they've just pooped out the ring. Okay, and yeah, wow, this is gonna be a short video. Comparatively, I said. That isn't related to him, and that brings us directly to my son's enormous head. And Chelsea blows her nose. Doesn't sound like a cold. That sounds like quitting time in bedrock. Charlie, it's the middle of the night. I'm not going home. Then why did you say I was testing you? Yeah, well, I knew that, and I was testing you. I think we both did very well. Charlie so does not want to be near Chelsea while she's sick. And, they're spooning, and what's this? Charlie, I'm sick. Obviously, so am I. Fine. And she just lies, spread her arms, just lies there. This is another test, isn't it? And, Alan's watching the bridges of Madison County. What are you doing? Watching a Clint Eastwood movie. He's technically correct. The very best kind of correct. And, Charlie, this is what it's all about. Rich, to have to hold. Richer or poorer, better and worse, sickness and health. Call me crazy, I prefer richer, better, and health. Chelsea looks so sick. Great makeup job. And Chelsea keeps asking for stuff from Charlie. And the hug is hilarious. It looks like Charlie looks like he thinks that touching her normally is gonna, like, kill him or something. Like he's gonna catch the plague. And I can't recall the details, but we find out that Jake is in math class with a 9-year-old, and she's not an advanced student. Could you make me an English muffin? Sure, I could. She walks away. But you won't, is that what you're saying? And Alan keeps mocking Jake at the table. They're eating. And you know, he's like, oh, Chelsea's sick. Do you think it might be an STD? An STD is, I know what an STD is. Your uncle helped invent them. You know, if you used condoms could have prevented that. They could have prevented you too, but it's too late for that. Now we got to use a hammer. And crap, what? And Jake's like, I don't understand. Get me a hammer, I'll show you. Okay, and he walks out. Ball peen, or you know, whatever the other one's called. Do me a favor, when he comes back, just do it. God. For you, I'd go to the ends of the earth. Coming back is another question. Great way to turn that phrase on its head. And you know, I forget, yeah, it's like cold medicine or something. Codeine, or with codeine or without? Don't you need a prescription for codeine? What are you, a cop? Is there some kind of condom, tampon conversion chart? No, but that's a fun idea. Oh good, she has a laptop. That makes the sickness feel like it takes a lot less time, no matter how bad it gets. And Jake is on his cell phone with his 9-year-old girlfriend so she can help with math, and she wants to see if he's wearing the necklace. Excuse me. There we go. And, you know, are you really going to clean out her kitty litter? No, I was hoping to pay you $20. I was going to pay you $10 to clean out the kitty litter. 20. Deal. Haha. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you know, haha, I would have done it for 10. Haha, I would have given you 1,000. Yeah, that's a very pretty woman of you two. We're on the air with codeine and bourbon. Go ahead, caller. And, you know, Charlie, yeah, Alan describes seeing Jake being born. Thanks for the image. I'll never be able to watch the kid pull on a sweater again. Also a good image. And, you know, Alan's emptying and she's like, Chelsea does not have a cat. She's kind of a mountain lion. And he's like, look at this. It's, you know, and Charlie's like, don't, you know, and he knocks it out. It goes into the air. It's like falls on. Wow. Don't tell Charlie. It's taken a long time for me to train him not to expect anything from me. Sorry. Are you kidding? Charlie doesn't go near sick women. I mean, physically sick. And Berta has to pretend she didn't want to help Chelsea because now Charlie's there. Yeah. Chelsea vomits and then Charlie vomits. And now Charlie's sick. I'm going to get your medicine. If you get it from Russell, count the pills. And Charlie has a nightmare that Sir Lancelot is the size of a football mascot. And the mouth even moves when he talks. And he's polite. Your house, your rules. The two-finger rule. Oh, once again, I did not technically have sex with your mother. I've been calling him that for years. Now he's up and done it. Your mother put enough pot in that cookie to treat every case of glaucoma in San Antonio. I was so high, I didn't know who she was. We were just colors. I was red, she was blue. We were trying to make purple. And Chelsea finds topless photos on Charlie's cell phone. I would love to explain that. I said I'd love to. I didn't say I could. Boy, you are just going to keep this flapjack on the grill, aren't you? Oh, you're going to need more in a minute. So long. I'm going to miss you. What are you talking about? She's not going anywhere. Where are you going? Excuse me. Hopefully that's it. Is that worth breaking an engagement? And Alan moans, it's worth breaking a spine. Do I want to know whose? what is that saying other than, got milk? And yeah, and Charlie Charlie's talking about waiting for Chelsea to apologize to him, and then since Long will have the Long frozen over, we can go ice skating. Hi Dad, bye Mom, good luck Herb. Bye Jake, wish I was going with you. Smash cut, and then he is going with him. I knew it as soon as it came out of my mouth. And Herb is such a nerd, which almost rhymes. Huh, Charlie. Excuse me. Huh, Chelsea had a 2-finger roll. Nothing to do with eyebrows, though. Hello, Jake. How have you been? We're walking down to the pier. We're going to play skee-ball. I'll be back by 11. You're damn right you will. I baked snickerdoodles. You baked snickerdoodles? Yeah, why is that funny? I'll have an appletini. My brother drinks appletinis. Yeah. Yeah. You drink appletini? Yeah. Why is that funny? It's not. And they're talking about, I couldn't talk to someone who was putting it to my ex-wife. To be fair, there hasn't been a lot of pudding lately. And I had to start shouting at the Y. And we're talking about masturbating at the YMCA. Just talking, right? Yeah, but the night is young. And what was the first sexual experience that wasn't traditional sex? I don't know if I should say. Well, that's with your wife. Me too. Me too. Zing, zing. What is zing? Is that a white guy thing? Just for a second there, they thought that he had actually... Wow. And not only that he had oral sex with Judith, but that the first time he had it, it was with Judith, which, considering his sexual experience, would have placed that at when they were just getting out of high school or something, which, yeah, that would be pretty upsetting for Alan And now all of them are zinging each other. Gordon's story of what happened since the last time we saw him is a real emotional roller coaster. See, that's the kind of thing where I like the character a lot, and I missed him while he was gone. But for them to do this joke with him, he had to have been gone for, they said it was 2 years. Otherwise, all of that could not have happened if it had been just some episodes, not 2 whole years, but him and he's so casually since last, went back to school, graduated I don't remember became a stockbroker, got married, lost everything at the market, got divorced. That'll be 2840. And they were talking about what was his name? That's a terrible name for a penis. Mr. Roundtree. Richard Roundtree, the guy who played Shaft. I'm sorry. I realize my when I impersonate a black man's voice, that might be slightly offensive. I don't mean it to be. It's a little boring if I just do that normally, but maybe I should. And Charles is called King Snake, and he's on the phone with I'm engaged. I'm in a committed relationship, so I don't want you sending any more nudes. It doesn't matter who asked. And no, you can't see hers. Right? No. And he's about to delete them, and it's like, what are you doing? I'm imprinting them into my memory. And you close that. delete, I'm deleting. Such an idiot. Wow. And now all 4 of them are singing barbershop quartet. First Zing with the strings of my heart, and then the Shaft theme, and the like full on like, yeah, they do the whole like he does the main singing, and then they do the shut your mouth parts, and then the theme right before the end credits. Hello, I am Alan Cousteau. Evelyn mentions how she's there to spend time with her grandchild. Great, and Jake's like munching on a credit. Ta-da! And Evelyn like got crumbs in her eyes. The owner of the house lost everything in the stock market and killed himself. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, he didn't do it in the house, thank God. Even with an ocean view, suicide homes are a bitch to unload. Keep that in mind in case you want to teach your brother a lesson. Alan, Jake, Satan, and Charlie did get Chelsea back. She's committed to making it work. Yeah. Are they still doing couples counseling? Because it hasn't been brought up since the episode it was introduced. Oh, how nice you're back in the country. Thank you. Where have I been? Or where was I or something? You didn't tell your mother you got engaged? If she hadn't sold me the house, she wouldn't know where I live. And Evelyn plays the victim to Chelsea, who doesn't know her well enough yet. And, Evelyn's like, you broke my, Charlie, broke my heart. And then all 3 of the Harpers laugh, What is wrong with you? Same stuff as always, nothing new. I don't expect you to dislike her right away. Give it time. Let it happen naturally. I'm not being dramatic enough. I should be wearing tights and holding a skull, preferably hers. That's what Hitler said to Czechoslovakia. Hitler said it's just lunch? Well, he said it in German. Watch the History Channel. Maybe this was why I remember there's being more than one Hitler reference in one episode, that I accidentally, they got mixed together or something. I'll trade you sight unseen, my mother for yours. I'll throw an owl and a couple of steaks. And, Charlie wants to have sex with her, and like, Charlie, I'm asleep. I know. Can you just wake up enough so it's not weird? As he turns and looks at him. Never mind, sweet dreams. It's not a suicide home. At most, it's suicide adjacent. And why does anything have to be wrong? Can't I just come visit you at your job? Well, you could, but I've been here for 22 years and you never have. Maybe you've validated parking, or any part of my life. And then Evelyn doesn't even know Judith's name, calls her June. You want a closer relationship with Jake? Not the way he is now, but if I got to him sooner, he wouldn't have the manners of an outhouse rat. And, Charlie makes it a point to say, I had to pay for my own parking here. And, can I just be a good parent and grandparent? I suppose you could, but I've been here for 40 years and you never have. Excuse me, Mommy has to fly faster than the other vultures. This line put the image in my head of Evelyn literally having vulture wings, like the Spider-Man villain, which really put a smile on my face. And Charlie drew a Hitler mustache on Evelyn's standee. I love Charlie's guesses at what the name of the restaurant Evelyn picked is. She's a survivor. Just remember, for her to be a survivor, others had to die. Again, beautiful way to twist. She's like, no, she's tough. She's a survivor. Well, technically speaking, if someone is a survivor, that means that someone else did die. Like, literally, that is the literal definition of survivor. You know, like the way she's using it she doesn't literally mean that. She's like saying, oh, she's got character. She's, you know, but yeah, literally, survivor means you didn't die. So, oh no, you've already caught the virus. I'm sorry, but when you fall asleep tonight, I'm gonna have to set you on fire. And Evelyn bought Alan a Rolex to get to him, and is like, you know, oh, well, you know, gotta go. Come back here, you know. You sold me out for a watch. I didn't sell you out for a watch. I sold you out for a certified Swiss chronometer. Oh, sorry, it was on his left hand. It's like, oh, and I charge you to go by doing this. Put it on your right arm. It'll run forever. Oh, good thinking. Because of his long showers. I really love Charlie singing Mother, you know, where he sings an entire line for each letter in the name, and the letter corresponds to the first one. You know, M is for and E is for extremely disturbing girl talk. And let's see. How was shopping, Mom? Pick up any new souls? Put them all together, they spell mother. A word that's only half of what I feel. Excellent, great way to turn that song on its head. And yeah, I mean, it checks out. There are as many letters in the word mother as there is in the other word he wants to add to the end. And yeah, that's just beautiful. Again, the kids aren't going to get it because he doesn't even say F or F word or something. He just says mother, half of the, you know, a word that's only half the way I feel. I really love Alan testing the waterproof Rolex down the, you know, jug of water, and like, I am Alan Cousteau. Oh, look at Exalted. And, you know, Chelsea like catches him and he's like, you know, and water sprays. And what are you doing? I got no good answer. It's Saturday night and I'm alone. Oh, all alone, sorry. And Charlie had Chelsea's mom come over from Illinois. She is so racist and homophobic. Just, yeah. I love your mom. And then, you know, after they came back from dinner, all four of them had dinner together. I thought it was great. You know, kind of like Country Mouse, City Mouse. I especially like when Country Mouse kicked off her shoes, put her big yellow bunions up on City Mouse mahogany table, and asked how she liked having a commie Arab for a president. And the, you know, don't go rubbing up against myself. Just change my mind, you know. Okay. Yeah, okay, I changed my mind. Feel free to rub. Rub yourself. Can you watch me so it's not weird? And above Exalted Cyclops, tries to destroy a lot of Alan's toys and bongified some of them. That's not fair. I always come out looking bad when I answer questions like that truthfully. And Chelsea's friend is Rose. I don't know, blind dates. You never know what kind of freak you end up with. Why? You're asking why a 40-year-old man shouldn't talk about model cars on the first date? You're right. Leave a little mystery. Yeah, that's what I mean. And Rose pretends like she doesn't know them at all, even getting their names wrong. Why don't you sit down? So many reasons. And Alan and Charlie have no idea how to act around Rose, so they just restate their jobs. Crazy, huh? Sure are, sure is. And Rose said, you know, that she thought Chelsea might be stalking her. Since when do you drink hard liquor? Since right now. I'd order crack if it was on the menu. And then Alan and Rose in bed together, and Rose is still pretending like she doesn't know him and Charlie. And like for a second he's weirded out, but then he just goes back to kissing her. Boy, take one day off for a poker tournament. You miss a lot around here. You said you were sick. I was healed. It's a miracle. Berta, have you met Rose? And Berta's face, just absolutely love it. Screw it, I'm going home. Feel better. Just, she's like, you know what? No, I'm done. I'm done. turning to Alan, explain. Me and Rose. No, I mean, you mean me and Rose. No, I mean the internal combustion engine. Yes, Rose. Wow, what did I ever do to deserve that? You're kidding, right? Yeah. Again, like, she's, for a second there, you almost kind of, no, you seriously think, does she genuinely not get why? Yeah, but, you know, you're kidding. Yeah, I know. And again, it's like, he's like standing there thinking, you have done some of the worst things some of the worst things anyone else has ever done to me, you've done to me, and you haven't, you might do them again if I don't watch out. And you're asking what, and she's like, yeah, I sure have. And what's a Kleagle? According to Wikipedia, it's below Grand Dragon and above Exalted Cyclops. The Ku Klux Klan really do have ridiculous names for their titles. I'm sorry, maybe I shouldn't have used the word Arab, and especially, in reference, I'm sorry, sometimes I forget just how, not an excuse but an explanation is the fact that I did grow up in the 90s watching shows from the 80s and 90s, and back then they were really, I think it was maybe Renegade Cut who said that, or was it Daniels? I forget. I'm pretty sure it's one of those two. Said that in the 90s there was an arms race about who could be the most offensive, and that's a good way to put it. Okay, and I'll pronounce you fruit basket and nutcase. May God have mercy on your souls. Yay! I don't think that was really a blessing. And Alan thought Rose was calling him on the cell phone, even though it was just a few seconds ago that they agreed one of them could call the other. And then a few seconds after, she is the one calling. Jake would make a great movie critic. And Jake was freaked out by the model car stuff too. And Rose drives her car right next to them. You didn't call me! Hi, Rose. Hi! So when do I get to meet your girlfriend? We need to have boundaries. It was just my pinky, Alan. And Rose also followed them into the movie theater, but he didn't know that, so she accidentally gave them. Boy, this is an Alan Harper I haven't seen before. Forceful, confident. Thank you. I don't like him very much. And she glued one of the model cars onto his junk. You care to explain why it's parked in your handicapped spot? And it's... we know that she's done that before, and she didn't use, this time she used a model car, but before it was, Charlie's scrotum glued to his thigh, so, but we didn't see, but we saw the car there. We know exactly, when you see the car there, mentally you're picturing John Cryer's, I don't have to draw you a picture, the episode does that for me, but there's a really great way to up the ante on that one, because that was his first season 1 joke, so and they've revisited down the line obviously, but what I'm saying is to have that now, this time they can actually show you a little bit more. And yeah, a few more things, but I'll get to that in the upcoming. And he sings Cars again, like at the start of the episode. The problem is they jumped into bed too soon. No, the problem is he doesn't keep glue salt in his nightstand drawer. What does that mean? Another way of saying what you said. And again, the audience gets it, but yeah. And he walks awkwardly because of the car. What's wrong with him? Little car accident. Excuse me. And Rose yet again watches from the deck. But now it's Alan instead of Charlie, or possibly both, I guess. Wait, no, yeah, she did. She gave the blessing to Chelsea, didn't she? Let me just briefly, before Yeah, she literally stalked Chelsea because she wanted to make sure. Doesn't she even say, I want to make sure you weren't getting together with a psycho or something like that. And eventually Chelsea realized, oh hey, you're the same person who's at this and this thing. And yeah, Rose didn't expect that, but then they became friends. And she is like, no, I checked her, she's squeaky clean. Although she does have a mother that's in the Ku Klux Klan, she's a Kleagle in the Klan. Kleagle? I think it's above, according to Wikipedia, yeah. A good twist on the relationship with Rose. It's not the first time she's dated Alan, but last time they didn't really fall for each other. Did they do it more than once? There was once where they, she was agreeing to jump into bed with him, but it was that thing of like he got freaked out by she had like 5 ferrets, all named Charlie, and it was like, she says, oh, she's excellent in bed, and he's like an advanced intermediate, yeah, something like that. Yeah, that was at least one time. I forget if they've done more. And it has been a while since we saw Rose truly, fully crazy and unhinged, and I do miss when she was in almost every episode at the start of the show, and it's you can't keep. Eventually you run out of material, or the dynamic just isn't as biting as it used to be. It's one of those things, we don't really want to see Rose over and over again if they can't have some kind of stalker joke about her. Has there been a single time she showed up and there wasn't at least one stalker joke? I'm not sure there has been, And yeah, just eventually, it's one of those things where if the stalker stays around forever and she doesn't do anything crazy, eventually it loses its edge. And if you keep having her do crazy things, you're gonna go too far too soon. And yeah. Sir Lancelot's litter box. Very well. I'm old-fashioned. I just don't want us living in sin. So you want us to stop having sex. No, it's not the sin I object to. It's the living in it. If the Titanic had enough life rafts, Leonardo and Kate would have lived happily ever after. And it's like, you're comparing our relationship to the Titanic? I'm sure you all enjoyed hearing that. Huh? Beg pardon? I enjoyed it. I hate to say it, but I think Chelsea might be right. You don't hate to say it. Oh, did I say I hate to say it? I mean, I can't wait to say it. And, Alan's like, Charlie's like, we can't, it's not going to work out. And Alan's like, she's ready for a committed relationship, and you can change. They're not ready, but you don't believe that. No, I'm just trying to be supportive. Not doing a very good job. Not trying very hard. I'm the king of the world! Okay, now I'm done. And Charlie gives her Alan's house key. And Chelsea is moving a lot of stuff into Charlie's house. I really like how, he comes into her apartment, and it's like, what's all this stuff? Let's just say I had faith in you. Oh. He's like, oh no, what did I should never have yeah. She really does. I mean, that, again, like with Mia, she was very ready to I can't believe you didn't do every single last thing that I expected of you to do because I have a healthy lifestyle and you don't. She wants to change him. She wants to fix him. Chelsea really does forgive a lot. I mean, when Mia was like, you know what? Okay, you're right. I forgive you. You'll do better. It's not that, yeah. Anyway. And and Berta comes up to Charlie like, we got to talk, I know this is not what you signed up for. You worked for me, and you also didn't agree to work for Zippy and the Chimp. No, I like her better than you, so from now on, I'm working for her. You want something, you talk to her. She asks me, we decide. I don't get a vote, you get a vote. 1 out of 3. Good luck with that. And, you know, Charlie, the lure box. Please tell me that's one of those Zen sand garden things. Charlie, don't be ridiculous. You know very well that's Sir Lancelot's litter box. And it's like, you know, he doesn't want it in the bathroom. Is it ridiculous to want the turds in my bathroom to be human? So you want me to leave? No, you just got here. I'll leave. It'll make more room for you and you sort of craps a lot. And, you know, heard the argument. Yeah, we couldn't hear. I did, and I don't appreciate being called Sir Craps a lot. Wow, you stupid. And, you know, tries talking to Alan about, you know, how he has problems with Chelsea. I hope you're happy with yourself. Why would I start now? Says the man who's been kicked out by 2 women. I didn't say it was hard for them. And Alan and Berta bet on how long it would take for Charlie to freak out about Chelsea living there. Here's $20. Don't tell me what it's really about. You're putting me on a tough spot here, Charlie. 40. Good night. No, I can't do it. I love you 2 kids too much. Here, have your money back. This is only 20. Sorry, here's the other. He tried to give, yeah, wow. Have you seen my house key? No. And Alan MST3Ks what Charlie and Chelsea say to each other. And Berta catches him. And, you know, it's not the most embarrassing thing I've caught you doing. Thanks for not making a big thing out of that. Right back at you. You put a lot of stuff in my room. I was wondering how long it's going to stay there. I'm wondering the same thing about you. And you know, I don't remember all the lines, but, you know, it's something about how, you know, you know, I know you expect to be able to use your room since you pay rent. I don't pay rent. There it is. And something about, you know, well, you know, Chelsea moved. Yeah, something about, you know, maybe you'd have more room in your own place. I don't have my own place. There it is. And he says it a 3rd time. I forget what it's about, but I really love that line. Like, when I don't quote it, I quote it more than I should. When there's like a thing where, you know, yeah, when someone like realizes, you know, oh, you're talking about this, or like, well, I mean, I guess technically, you know, there it is. I absolutely love that. So yeah, that was something that I retained over all these years. Yeah, I've probably not watched this since like 2008, 2009, but that I remembered. And the exchange, I remember the nature of the exchange and some details. And, you know, Alan's lying there and stuff's all around him. So, I don't have to pee. I don't have to pee. I have to pee. And he's knocking over stuff, bumping into stuff. He falls over, a lamp falls over him, and he accidentally steps on the cat, and then, you know, lands butt first in the kitty litter, and yeah. Chelsea's cooking for them. Nice. And Alan, you know, he's like scratched on the cheek, not chin, by the cat, and like the cat slept on it, and he's got like, he's allergic to the cat, so like, you know, he sure is he sure is a snuggler, isn't he, or something, and just, yeah. Boy, you got no shame at all, do you? I assume that's a rhetorical question. And, you know, the Gordon brings a pizza up to, you know, he's like, where's the lady who used to live here? We got engaged, she's living in my place, and, you know, so your fiance is in Malibu, and you're here? You know what you are, Mr. Harper? What? A genius. Again, like, you think that he might be like, you're a freaking moron. You have this amazing woman to be with, but yeah, it's a thing. Like, just we like being on our own. You know, it doesn't mean that we don't want to be with you also, but we like being on our own. We're used to being on our own. You know, it's just we you know, throughout our you know, childhood and like the you know, teenager, up until you have a like, you know, major relationship, we are, you know, guys are used to being, you know, we're by ourselves when we can be, and we're our siblings when we have no other choice, but by ourselves, you know, and then suddenly we're expected to just spend all the time, you know, all the time that we're at home with the one we're with, and it's such a huge, yeah, it's overwhelming for a lot of us. And I'm not saying that if I had the chance I would have done what Charlie did. I'm just saying, oh hey, there's a squirrel. That's amazing. I don't remember what I was just talking about, so let me return to my prepared notes. And yeah, of course Charlie couldn't stand the new living situation with Chelsea, and this is not the last time that I feel like in the next season, and then he's not the only one, like some of the other guys come over, and I don't remember exactly. I don't remember. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. Again, really love this episode to episode continuity on the show. That this season has had more than any of the others. Good morning, Mrs. Butterworth. And there we go. It's not a hobby, that's a cry for help. Wow, he's gonna stick where I've got your hand. Your brother should be surrounded by people who love him. My brother should be surrounded by a SWAT team. He really is a ticking time bomb. The final scene of this episode really clinches that. Do we not see the dummy after this episode? It's not in the season finale. I don't remember. Even if they don't, I'm really glad that we got it in this, because it's hilarious. It's the kind of thing that Alan would do. And it's like, because it is, like, suddenly he feels that he can say the things he wants to say. You know, oh, it's just not me, it's the dummy saying it. And smash cut, Chelsea did talk Charlie into taking Alan with them to the theater. And Chelsea laughs at Danny's terrible joke with the, would I? Would I? What are you calling would I? Big ears. And Charlie's in agony at the French movie. And just the, you know, Alan's like, if she takes him back after, I can't forgive her. What choice does she have? She doesn't, you know, and yeah, and Charlie's like, you know, dude, they serve beer in the lobby, right? I'll be in the, you know, I'll be in the lobby, something like that. And then, like, the next morning, like, Chelsea, you know, Charlie wants to have sex with Chelsea, and, you know, Alan, like, knocks on the door or something, and she's like, oh, right, I almost forgot, we're going to the farmer's market. You know, and Charlie's just so confused that they're going, and yeah, I mean, that really is, like, Alan really is, like, they like having sex in the morning, you know, couldn't you wait until a little later? I mean, does the farmer's market close super early or something? It's just, yeah. There's, yeah, anyway. I mean, I get that Charlie has an incredibly luxurious life, and, you know, one morning isn't going to kill him, but that still is a really, Alan knew that would bother Charlie. And, you know, so, when did you talk about, you know, this, when you were sitting in the lobby drinking? Well, I wasn't going to sit in the car with that scary dummy. Charlie, I cannot believe you. All you had to do was get rid of the dummy. Get that ugly thing out of my face. That's what she said. Sorry, I can't do Danny's voice very well. Not his voice either, I know. There it is. Charlie sorry, there's the, Charlie's like, I'm gonna see if I can quickly, have sex with Chelsea in the shower. He can be such a pig. Well, you know what happens to pigs? They get slaughtered. And he's like, don't say it, don't even think it. And he, he takes the bird. And Charlie's like sitting on the watching TV, and the dummy is like over on the on the chairs. It looks like it's looking right at Charlie, and he's like, "What are you looking at?" Nothing. And and then we realize it was Jake doing the voice. Like, for a second, Charlie thinks he's in Child's Play, which that's awesome. I really, yeah. It is a creepy looking dummy. I think they struck a perfect balance. It looks creepy, but it's also not so creepy that you're like, why would Chelsea laugh at the jokes it makes? Why would Alan walk around with something that creepy? It's not like, I don't know, is the dummy from the Chucky dummy from Child's Play, is it more? I mean, that one kind of strikes a pretty good balance as well, doesn't it? Yeah, it's only really when the face gets contorted and he's saying something incredibly disturbing that it's really that, It's, yeah, you buy that this woman would buy it for an 8-year-old, And Jake is like, so what's Dad's dummy doing here? It pissed off his mother. Hey, I did that too. Wow. Again, I do prefer when he's smarter, but I do find those jokes funny as well. And Charlie in the kitchen, just once I'd like to walk in this room and not be freaked out. And Alan is showing the butt exercises, and he's like, don't be, you have a perfect keister. And Charlie about the have him show you the one where he sticks his head up there. That's my favorite. And Berta points out that Alan can do the feminine stuff that Charlie hates doing with Chelsea. He digs the trench, you lay the pipe. And the Scrabble, you play for blood, don't you? What is it he says? Let me tell you something, Chelsea. Nice guys. What was it? Nice guys finish with a row full of tiles, something like that. And it did sound like it was pretty brutal for Scrabble, I mean. And Charlie is like, Charlie horny, and goes up and wants her to go, wants them to have sex, and she's like, we're playing Scrabble. I'm playing Scrabble. I don't know what she's doing. I'm improving. I want a rematch. And Charlie whispers something in her ear. Good night, Alan. You could kill him. Oh, I think I nailed it that time. I guess I won't need it for much longer, but anyway. No, I could never do that. Don't worry, Alan. I can do it for you. And it is kind of the stereotypical ventriloquist dummy voice. And they're talking about Charlie, Alan and Chelsea are talking about Charlie as if you were a dog, and it's like this thing, maybe you need to smack him on the head, and it's, every once in a while, it's sorry, if you don't smack him on the head enough, he's gonna chew up your rug. I don't mean your rug. And I forget exactly how the line comes up, but I think Charlie says something like, I'm sorry, when did we agree on that? And she's like, when, in bed. Oh, you need to stop smacking my head so much. Good, we're on the same page. And Alan sends like 5 messages in maybe 10 seconds. He really is text blocking. And the thing with the she gets funny messages from him, and she's like it's something like, she laughs, and he, like, I forget if he reads it or she reads it out or something, but he gets he's saying, don't let him chew up the rug or something. Why would I want to do that? Why would I want to chew up the rug? And she's like, not the rug, never mind. And Charlie goes in, it's like with Alan, and Alan's like, don't be ridiculous, Charlie. You need me to do the stuff with Chelsea that you don't want to do. That's true. But I don't need him. And he holds Danny hostage, and like they get into a big fight, and Chelsea hears, so she runs down and is like, what is going on here? Nothing. Like, Alan's devoted. Like, that's, yeah. And like Charlie and Chelsea have a big fight, and he's like, I didn't start it, he did. I don't care who started it. And and then at the end, Danny threatens Alan, and let's see. I'm sorry, I just don't remember the lines from that, but yeah. And Alan looks like he's taking it seriously. It's really, yeah. Now, some DVD specials, and I watched these after the second to last episode rather than the last episode, because I want to start recording these videos right as soon after watching the finale, the season finale, as possible, so that's really fresh in my memory, because it is very much, it's the kind of thing where you're like, okay, when a season finale is especially good, you're like, I want to watch the next season as soon as I can, and I'm celebrating the season with these videos, celebrating the season that I'm talking about. And yes, so I don't want to get bogged down watching a bunch of TV special features. After watching the finale, even if I watched it before recording, so I watched these after the second to last episode, and I mean, I guess when I get to the seasons that I haven't watched, I won't be able to do that, but for now, yeah. So, one of them is called Growing Up Harper. It's 13 minutes and 37 seconds, and it's basically the cast and then the 2 showrunners talking about Angus T. Jones, the actor who plays Jake, growing up on the show. And Holland Taylor would frequently say adult words and not care that Angus heard. And, she'd be like, oh, what? Excuse me. Oh, like he hasn't heard that word before. And then sometimes Angus would be like, right, like I haven't heard that word before. And in interviews, when Angus T. Jones was like a kid, he sounds so different from Jake. But now, in these interviews, he does sound like him. I mean, I don't get the sense from listening to him that he's actually stupid and lazy, but his voice and mannerisms aren't that different from when Jake is being lazy and stupid. Now, yeah, it's more that he sounds a little lazy now than stupid. That, yeah, just the way he talks, it's kind of this slow way of delivering, like, the things he's talking about. It's just, yeah, I don't know. Maybe he got so used to doing that in front of cameras for this show that it came naturally to him in interviews. I don't know. And Holland Taylor says, as others have said outside of this DVD special feature, that Angus is not stupid like Jake. And in this, John Cryer says it as well. And Angus likes the hammer joke as well. And when he laughs, he sounds very different from Jake. That is, yeah. Because Jake does laugh sometimes on the show, but the natural laugh of Angus T. Jones, in this at least, is different. Very different at least. And Holland Taylor points out that Jake is now talking back to his father and uncle with wit, which is also something I really appreciate. And they talk about how the actor was cute and sweet, and he's still cute even though the character is now surly, and he's not, he's now a lot taller. He really did, like, that's the thing with, with teenage. Sometimes becoming a teenager means getting a lot taller. And the next special feature is called The Women of 2.5 Men. The women! In my opinion, the women are, the women are one of the best parts of the show. And I mean that as all of the women put together. It's not just, one or two, all of them, especially the main characters and the major recurring characters. I really like Chelsea. This character could so easily be incredibly bland. With someone like Candy, it was obvious to mine. Candy in some ways is like Jake. Candy is stupid and, has a short attention span and such. But then also they have all the sex jokes with her. So, it's not difficult to mine a lot of that, even though she's in a bunch of episodes. But Chelsea, the main joke with her is essential. One of the big things with her is she's smart and she wants to be with Charlie, but she wants them to have a real relationship. She's not okay with them just, having sex. She needs more than that. And she's mature. She's emotionally mature. And that thing means something very different. Never mind. And she is and the thing is, she could very easily be bland. B, she could very easily come across as a shrew. She's nothing like Judith. Judith, with Judith, it's essentially impossible to, for any man to live up to what she wants. So there's always, again, that's something to mine, which they do really well. But with Chelsea, it could very easily have not been, they have the sex jokes, and again, obvious and easy, but she's genuinely funny, and I want to see, I've never watched Chelsea and been like, does she have to be on the show? I always really enjoy, that's something there's very little on the show that as far as I've watched it, which isn't all of it, that I don't really, really like. Not just don't like, but I really, really, I love most of it. I think they do a really good job of, I don't feel like there's that much that's just lazy, that the delivery is clever enough. There are a lot of jokes that are obvious, but I feel like the delivery tends to be strong enough that it doesn't feel. And at the end of the day, it is a sitcom. It's not, War and Peace. It's not supposed to be. It's not Shakespeare. It's not supposed to be. It never claimed to be. Now, Charlie, back to my notes. Charlie Sheen is like, we couldn't do it without them, without the women of 2.5 Men. They're sitting right there listening to me right now. And And Chuck Lorre points out the women drive almost all of the action. And fellow showrunner Lee Aronson points out that the men would not be who they were without the women. And it's absolutely true. If you took, it would be absurd to have the show without the women, which, my DVD set is German, which must mean that they did manage to find someone who could dub over the various female characters, unlike Olsenbanden or the Olsen Gang movies, where the Germans censored out all of the scenes of the character of Yvonne or Ivan, which is just, I don't even understand how you still have a movie. She drives so much of the, literally when the scriptwriter and the director sat down and wrote a script, one of the first, I think actually they said specifically, the first thing is, what does she want to accomplish? Is there some kind of celebration? Does she want her son to get a job? What exactly is it? Yeah. Now, let's see. And, Lee Aronson about, he talks about how a lot of sitcoms, it's smart wife, stupid husband, and he says, we don't have any grown-up women, which, yeah, I mean, to an extent, that absolutely. I would say Chelsea is largely grown up, some, and Mia, but, And Chuck Lorre talks about how Berta started as a guest character, and they were like, we have to keep her around. And it's I totally see that, because when you watch that first episode, it doesn't necessarily feel like it's setting up that she's going to stay around. By the end of that episode, it's like, okay, I'm going to do some of her laundry, and she's going to, and then she'll keep working for you, and, even though I'm here now. And it's, yeah, she could easily have just disappeared. I mean, think about it. Rose is apparently Charlie's neighbor, but there are a bunch of episodes that she's not even in. Like, you'd expect to see the neighbor much more often, but that you can do that on a sitcom, and I'm really, really glad. I also, when I watched that first, when the show first aired here, and I watched, and I saw, is it episode 4? I want to say it's episode 4, and just the moment the character was introduced, I was like, she has to stay around. Please have this character stay around. And I'm really, really thrilled that they did. And they also expanded her character. That at first she was just overworked, but later she also got the drug background, the trashy family, and how she doesn't actually do the work all that well. She really kind of just does the basic, the bare minimum kind of thing. Yeah. And I want to say it's Maren Hinkle. I don't know if that's correct pronunciation. The actress who plays Judith. She sounds so different from Judith in interviews. Like, I mean, it seems so natural when she's playing Judith, and when she's being like, whether she's being like really happy and smiling suddenly, or where she's being like, why does everyone, why doesn't anybody, why doesn't anybody listen to me? I'm doing it, look! Just, and all of it, it's so natural, but it feels so natural, but the actress just sounds so different. And it's also, I mean, I've watched Quarantine. I forget if I don't think when I watched Quarantine that I knew very much about 2.5 Men. So it was only like later I watched, and I was like, didn't I see her before? And I looked her up. Oh, all right, she's in Quarantine. And I don't know, have I watched Quarantine more than once? Maybe I watched like clips of her. I don't remember. But yeah, she's the one where she's got like a kid, and the crew want to interview the kid, and they're like, oh, so how's this going? She's like, he describes something, and she's like, oh, he's always been like that, and like, it's like, it's Deb, right? It's Deborah from Dexter, I want to say, she's like, I know you don't know this because you're not in this business, but people find it frustrating when they're like watching a thing and someone's being interviewed, and then someone from off screen talks, could you please try not, okay, thank you for being understanding, and they go on, and then she does it again, and Deb's like, this woman, I can't, but she does, and in that she's not shrewish at all, she's basically just a typical mom in that kind of situation, but yeah, she's so different, and I'm really glad that there are interviews with her on at least some of these. I would love for her to be on like a commentary track or something, because she's really interesting. She has cool ideas, which I'm going to get to one of these later in this exact segment. And Conchata Ferrell, talks about how, yes, Charlie and Berta are probably best friends, even though neither of them would acknowledge that they're best friends. And they call Conchata Ferrell Chatty as a nickname, which, I mean, Conchata, that is a mouthful, so Chatty, yeah. It's never entirely clear if she's happy with being called that, because she doesn't seem like someone who's as angry and, like, not resentful, but like irritated, perpetually irritated as Berta at all in real life. But she does come off as someone who maybe, like, I don't know, I probably wouldn't like her when she's angry, yeah. And it's just not nice, be nice, come on. And, Holland Taylor talks about how Evelyn is rude to her sons, they're rude back to her, so, they take everything with a grain of salt, and yeah. And it's absolutely true, like, they say some of these horribly traumatizing things and describe traumatizing experiences with each other, and there's still this, they'll just shrug it off or laugh, or yeah. And Conchata Ferrell points out that Berta and Evelyn are happy with themselves, but Judith isn't. And Conchata Ferrell points out both of Judith's husbands are dopes. And they talk about how the stalker character is very unusual, and Rose is both loving and insane, and that's also something. If she was just constantly insane or constantly loving, I really don't think it would work. But they find the right balance, even though in some episodes she is very, like, the one with Mia, she is freaking terrifying. The wedding one with, like, where Charlie's explaining, we've had this sort of on and off thing occasionally, but I'm getting married to Mia, and just like the moment, like, her eyes, and she's like, Rose, are you okay? I'm fine. You're marrying Mia. I'm so happy for you. She does the Wednesday Addams smile, and just, she's scaring me. Just, yeah, and the he describes it as, I felt like I could see her medication stop working, and Mia describes, she showed up in her wedding dress. She showed up in a wedding dress. She said she would wear it to the wedding, and she didn't want us to clash. And then she insists on giving me a shower, a wedding shower, an actual soap and water shower. Just, I don't know. I guess most of the really insane stuff is when she's described by other people, or I guess we haven't seen her do that much like physical intense scary stuff, but like when she's when she drives up next to Alan, it's like, you didn't call me, just she's terrifying there, and in bed, I don't like him very much, and then we see that she glued and she climbs up on the deck and is staring again. Just, she is genuinely scary, but then there are other times where she's so loving, and it's so great. And they talk about how usually the stalker character wouldn't have friendships with the characters on, like Alan. At first, they don't really, at first everyone is scared of her, but Alan ends up liking her, and like they're happy that she's tutoring Jake and all this, And here we go. Maren Hingle, the Judith actress, talks about how she would like for all the women to end up together, maybe at a wedding, getting drunk and talking about how they feel about the different men. I don't remember if that is something that ends up happening. The last thing that she said in an interview on one of these, DVDs, was that she'd like Charlie to sleep with her character, which was joked about but didn't happen. You know, there was the thing about Charlie said technically it could be that, you know, neither Alan or Herb is the father, and Alan's like, did you have sex with her? And he joked, you know, he made Herb and Alan think that he had oral sex with Judith, you know, so that only ended up as jokes. I mean, I guess really, I don't know, maybe they do end up doing that. I mean, that definitely would be, I mean, that is a bridge to cross. That really is something that would, wow, you know. I mean, there was that joke with the thing. Starting to sound like I have a stutter or something. There's the thing with the episode where Charlie had sex with Judith's sister at the wedding of Judith and Alan, but now Judith's sister wants Alan because she wants to make Judith jealous. And then, you know, Judith is like, fine, maybe I'll just have sex with Alan. It's Charlie to make Alan jealous, because Alan's like, oh, what are you know, you've already divorced me, what else are you gonna do? And yeah, I mean, that would yeah. But now that he's with Chelsea, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, I think what she describes there would be a really cool scene. I think, yeah. I mean, it does tend to be, you know, Charlie or Alan. You know, not every single scene has one of them, but there aren't that many scenes that doesn't have at least one of them, or at least not for very long. Like in that one episode where, like, Judith is sleeping with Andy and Charlie's sleeping with Mandy and Alan wants to get Candy back. Some of that, some of that doesn't have Charlie or Alan, but yeah. So I don't know. I mean, maybe they could be like, maybe the audience could see them, but the women thought that they weren't there, and the women would talk and the two brothers would just like react and like mouth things to each other in reaction to it. I don't know. I do think she has really cool ideas, and I am ecstatic that she is on the show for this long. Again, I mean, after a while, like at first, it was like she'd come over to Charlie's house, and Alan would be, oh, hi, Jake, and go to your room, and they have to talk. And Judith would be like, I can't believe your brother did this. You know, Jake did this, and you and I both know that was because of Charlie. You have to do something. And I mean, for a while, it almost felt like yeah, didn't she threaten? Like there was a thing where, like, if Charlie keeps being a bad influence on Jake, that somehow, like, maybe she would get full custody so that they would never see him or something, which, I mean, he's, you know, it's called 2.5 Men, not 2 men. So, you know, if they just called it 2 men, that wouldn't be interesting at all, you know. The thing is that so they couldn't keep doing that for too long, because eventually either it would seem like, well, I mean, she's obviously not going to go through with it because it keeps happening, or I forget what was what was the middle thing? Anyway, they had to change that. They had to go away from that, obviously. And they did. They found other ways that she could be interesting to have on the show, because it's obvious, but it's also a good thing. It's a good place to mine for. I mean, that is really something like we as a society know you have to be careful what, children can't hear and see certain things that can be traumatizing for them for life. So it's the idea that a woman is terrified that her son is being influenced in such a negative way, because Charlie's not just, he is a terrible role model, that really is, so basically either something had to happen to that, and they kept coming up with, then a bunch of stuff came out of the alimony, how much to pay and what it's used for and such. And you've had a bunch where Alan tries to get back together with her, and sometimes she even wants to get back together with him, and you have various stuff where she's really neurotic. You have, she gets with Herb, and then you have Herb and Alan, and it would have been it wouldn't have taken very much. If they hadn't been creative, this character would not have lasted very long. If she had remained she says, I can't believe that you let Charlie do this in front of our son. Either you have to get her off the show and they just have to say, oh, well, she's not so worried about that anymore. That's basically the only, either that or do what they do and repurpose her character to have, so they can have a lot of jokes with her without it being, because with her, sometimes Alan and Charlie will be a horrible influence on her, Charlie especially, and Judith will be like, I can't believe you did that to my boyfriend, to my, husband-to-be, to my husband, and all of this, and just, as long as they don't do that too many times, they can go pretty far with it. Her drinks and he's dancing with strippers, and they record a video and Judith watches that video. You can't do that over and over, a million times. The way, if you sat down and counted, there's probably, hundreds of fart jokes with Jake. They can do that over and over, but you can't have Herb do something truly like that and still have, again, without writing him off the show, but they do it just a few times and they space out the times they do it enough so that, because that really is Charlie, everything that Judith wants for her life to be better. She wants her son to do well. She wants her new man to be, all of this stuff Charlie destroys, sometimes gleefully, sometimes just because it's too much effort to do it properly. And that's, Charlie, he is a destructive force of nature. He, if you're not cigar, booze, or at least for a time being, the woman he wants to be with until he dumps her, he's going to destroy you. Just, Anyway, back to my prepared notes. Conchata Farrell says that, me, Holland, and Marin used to have a joke. If the title included the women in the show, it would be 2.5 Men, 3 Bitches, and a Psycho. And that's, I like that a lot. And the gag reel. Conchata Farrell kept getting the line wrong about asking Alan about him having sex, and he kept having to put the coffee cup and the coffee can, whatever it's called, thing back, and just, I have to say, I really love seeing John Cryer in bloopers, because he can get frustrated, but he's always a good sport about it. He doesn't get angry at it and and just he has such an infectious laugh when he like Chris Evans' laugh or something. Just so yeah, it's great. And Melissa's out of character, laugh is absolutely adorable, and it's like, again, it doesn't really sound like again, it sounds like it's a very natural way for her to be, the way she talks as Melissa. Yikes. Where did Vanessa? Whatever. Yeah, my brain. I haven't necessarily gotten quite as much sleep recently as I should. Melissa, it sounds very, she does talk in this, not super high pitched, but a slightly squeaky, like one of the Chipettes kind of voice. And they didn't just call her Smurf because she's short. She does genuinely sound like, and it feels natural that someone like that should have a voice like that, as though her tiny body can't completely get what sounds like a grown-up's voice out, but her laugh just sounds different from that anyway. And I already mentioned Michael Clark Duncan cracking up, so non-threatening. And and John Cryer kept messing. There's the line where Alan's like, "Come on, Charlie, be grateful for what you've got," or something like that. And that, and Charlie Sheen would go, "What do I got, Alan? What do I got?" Something like that. And then Alan would have a line, and John Cryer kept messing that up accidentally. And I think the third time he messes it up, Charlie's like, "What do I got?" he went 20% Al Pacino there, just and everyone cracks up. And I don't know if Charlie Sheen was angry or really frustrated and just let off some steam there, or if he was joking about being angry. I don't know. Charlie Sheen does have problems with self-control. That is, hence the show. Okay, so baseball is better with steroids. So that was 40 minutes on one episode, one episode and 3 specials, I guess. Excuse me. So, and Alan is trying to be a screenwriter. And, Mia is like, oh, hi, and, how's Charlie? Oh, he's great. He actually got engaged, and, and they're living together, I think he even says. And she's like, "Oh, so where do you live?" "I live with Charlie." "Why do you ask?" "Since his fiancée moved in, I assumed." "You look great, Alan." That's funny, but that has got to be a sore spot for her, since that was literally the reason that she didn't marry Charlie. They were right about to, they were eloping, and he was like, "I can't believe you want Alan to move out of my place." Now, if she still wants him, which I don't remember, by the end of this episode we don't really know for sure, but it's I'm almost 100% certain. Yeah, she's in the season opener of the next season. Yeah, if she still wants Charlie, it's gotta be that was an option. I don't know. I get, no, she probably wouldn't have gone along with it. She didn't even want him eating meat. She wanted to go vegan, didn't she? Yikes. Look, I know, you know what, morally, I cannot morally defend carnism to yeah. You, James 1978, just re-uploaded the video. I'm pretty sure I'd seen it before. Anyway, I cannot morally, yes, we should be vegan, absolutely. That is one thing I want to say. I have trouble going vegan, but I do think we should do as much as possible to ensure that the animals have as positive existence as possible before we kill them, and the killing should be as humane as absolutely possible. But I find it extremely... I tried for a while. I wasn't like, okay, I'm going to go vegan. I was just like, well, this vegan dish seems fine. I mean, it worked for a while, but I'm sorry, I'm not good at, like, you know... I get it. I don't think that it's okay that we treat animals poorly just so we can eat them. I mean... There's like a thing on the internet that, like, someone said that we have problems with overpopulation, and we have problems with, you know, world hunger. And someone posited that cannibalism could solve both of those problems. I'm not saying that I would eat a person. I'm just saying that if you completely make it impossible for me to eat the flesh of an animal that isn't a human being, I think that's the same squirrel. And Alan's script goes meta. It achieves self-awareness. Hey Alan, could you smack your kid for me? Should we really risk more brain damage? Thanks for sticking up for me, Dad. Perfunctory. That could be my rap name. MC Perfunctory. Was it perfunctory, or were there subtitles? I'm leaving. To think I fought for shared custody. Uncle Charlie, love you. Mwah. And Charlie so clearly isn't over Mia. You're thinking about sex with Melissa, aren't you? Trying to. But her mom keeps popping in. They did have... Yes, they did end up having sex, just not at her place. They ended up having sex in Alan's bedroom. But for a second there, I was like, I mean, he had sex with her mother. Did he not even have sex with her? So it's like, I mean, like mother, like daughter? I mean, maybe you could, like, mentally edit her, like put her face on her mother's... I think I'm going to stop right there. Because there's no one to stop me right there. There's no one to, like, rush in and go like, I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to let you finish. Which is, I probably, this joke has been made, but when Kanye went to the White House and he started sharing his thoughts, someone probably should have gone in and be like, I'm going to let you finish. Actually, no, please go. What you're saying is preposterous. So I think they did have sex, just not at Melissa's place, because each time her mother, they did have sex at least once when they were because they were there in the morning. She was there in the morning when Charlie walks in and they're having morning pork. And Charlie falls over in the bathroom when Chelsea says that Mia's on the phone. There are plenty more fish in the sea. I'm sure you'll get right back in the dating pool and catch something. A fish, I mean, not a disease. And Chelsea is not letting Charlie go on who Mia is and the whole, and like, I'm supposed to tell, you didn't, I'm supposed to tell, like you told me every single person you've been with. And she's like, I did. 2 guys in high school. My ex and Oh, so you've only been with 4 men. Back in your day, that was a slow weekend, right? He is really regretting talking about baseball in front of her. Yeah. And, It's like, she wanted to know if you were, like, available and happy where you are. No, I'm not available, and I'm certainly not happy. You know what I mean. But yeah, I mean, it is maybe a little bit like, I don't know. I mean, I don't understand that whole kind of thing anyway, so... But, again, I think the next season further explores whether she is over him or not. And yeah, by the end of this episode, you're not 100% sure, but they meet again in the coffee shop, and to be continued, yeah. I'd watch the movie Jake describes. I'd watch Carnival, I think he called it. Jake's just finishing breakfast, or starting lunch, it's a fine line. He is a growing boy, with a growing pain in my ass. He says it with love. No, I say it with a dull, throbbing pain in my ass. Herb, my water broke. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. I'm not cleaning that up. I really love how, like, people are either concerned about Herb falling or Judith giving birth, but never both at the same time. And then there's the time where Charlie's like, no, like, there's a baby being born, there's some broken bones. That's not important. Nothing important. That time he doesn't care about either, but yeah. And Berta's like, she's not like, you're having the baby, let's get you to the hospital. She's just like, I'm not cleaning that up. And Melissa's working at the hospital, and there's like, at first, what was it, like, yeah, she's like, I had to find another job after you had sex with my mother. Okay, technically, I didn't have sex with your mother. And Judith's like, who cares? I'm having, I'm in labor or something like that. And just, yeah. And, Herb, as, he's got the broken ankle, and they've, they've dealt with that. But, so he's like kind of limping as he's pushing the wheelchair. And then he like slips, falls, and her wheelchair just goes, off screen. And Herb is like crawling along like a zombie, just, I'm coming for you, and Charles like, stay down, champ, it's not your night. Of course he's going to use that kind of metaphor, but yeah. And, Charlie's sitting next to the guy Alan sat next to at the DMV, and that wasn't even this season, that was like a season ago. I'm really glad again, if they made him a thing, if like every so often someone would, have to be sitting next to him waiting for a thing, yeah, I have faith that I don't remember if they did do that, or if, I don't know if he comes back down the line. I really think they did great on both of these appearances. Is that what you're here for? A whistling ass? No, there's the baby and some broken bones. Nothing important. That's, he's talking about like, oh, he's, an ass like that could whistle. Wow. But that's what he cares about. And he's, it's one thing that he's blabbing, he's rambling to this complete stranger about how, he's kind of happy with Chelsea, but yeah, wow. He doesn't care at all about the baby, about Herb, about Alan with Melissa. There's so much, but no, he only cares about his thing, which is literally like, Charlie, Mia and Chelsea will still be there in like an hour from now. But if Judith does not get the help to deliver the baby, like that could lead to some serious. But he's like, I don't know. I'm kind of lovelorn though. Just yeah, what? There's that thing with Yeah, Alan points out that would require for you to be able to perceive the world, beyond the tip of your penis. Do not talk about my penis. You have not earned the right. And Alan stops helping Judith with the breathing because Melissa comes up and she's like, Mrs. And just keep going. You're doing great. I also love, I didn't voice type that, but when Charlie gives the thumbs up to the guy who's got the thumb, oh, hey, by the way, good luck. And just the he's learning, he's staying there, and he remembers, he got really into that back then, and yeah, that was 14 years ago, but he hasn't forgotten. He still really cares, and so he's like, okay, in and out, that's good, wow, it feels like just yesterday we were here, and yeah. And she's like, shut up, I really just, yeah. She kind of has to focus. It's kind of, there's a thing here, Alan. There's a thing going on that maybe you could try to help out with, because you are currently, currently you're the person most likely to be helpful in the current situation, which is also just hilarious. Like, she hates him. Like, she cannot stand him, and he's not that happy about being there, but what, Charlie's gonna be of help, so yeah, they're standing there. He's like, this is probably my kid, and I'm never gonna be able to do, but he's still trying to help. Just, I love when sitcoms, and that's what they do, of course, that's the whole point, and that's why I love them, when they create the situation that, like, you wouldn't want to be in real life, but it's incredibly funny to see. It's in, when they're often just cathartic. It's like, oh wow, I'm really glad I'll never be in that situation in real life, Can you imagine if I were? And Herb comes back, and he's on so many drugs because of the injuries, and it's like, what did they give you? They gave me all of it. It's wonderful, and he's like, Judith, and he tries driving ahead, but he's, like, one of his arms is like broken, so he's just on the one side of the wheelchair, so he doesn't move ahead at all. He just turns, he does a full 360, and then he's like, Charlie, how'd you get here already? It's just, wow. I just can't hate you. Really? Most people don't have that problem. And, Charlie comes in about the oh, hey, Judith, you want some, was it chips? No, I don't want chips. I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to have beer. Just, wow. I don't think you're supposed to have beer. And, he walks into the room, and it's like, she's, way to go. And she does more, great, it just, and the doctor's there, cuts back, doctor's there, I think you're ready to have this, she's like, I think you're ready to have this baby, and Charlie's like, okay, well, good luck, and starts leaving. Wow. Just, yeah. And, Herb fell over again and broke his nose, but he's on so many painkillers he can't feel the pain. He's like, hip hip hooray. And Alan just keeps going back to the flaming meteor when writing the script. Wow. And, Charlie's almost Chelsea. You're really excited about this baby. Oh, it was amazing. Miracle of birth. If Judith hadn't been there, it would have been perfect. Wow. And then, I also quite like the Charlie and Alan about the room. So, how's your screenplay going? It's great. Still stuck on page 1, huh? And then, they're in the coffee shop, and Mia walks up to Charlie in the coffee shop, and Alan's like, to be continued. Both, he clearly types it on the laptop, and we hear the voiceover, as we have heard every single time that he's typed anything in the screenplay. You know what? We got there. The video still ended up almost 4 hours long. I still don't know whether or not to be proud of that. Great finale, great season. Now this is a season finale. So much happens, so many different threads being, you almost feel like that might have been too many almosts. You get close to the point where you feel like, can't they make every season finale like this? But I mean, I don't know. Ultimately, they can't, and it's just, you know, for that kind of thing, you really have to watch straight soap operas, which this is essentially a parody of a soap opera episode, a soap opera season finale or season opener, especially, you know, or a sweep. I don't remember. I'm almost certain. Yeah, not all of them have equally much happening. They have a lot of episodes wherein, you know, characters just say, oh yeah, you know, this thing has been going on, and so sometimes they'll say it to themselves. No one's there, and then DiStefano gets hit with lightning, and it's just the cheesiest effect ever, have I been told by people who watch the show who aren't me. And just, but no, this is an amazing season finale, and them ending on a cliffhanger. It's just, this is, I mean, there's been continuity, but it's basically the first real cliffhanger that we've had. As, yeah, but just, it's amazing. And I mean, at the end of this episode, Melissa is still into Alan. We don't see them break up. Does that mean that she's back in the next season as well? I'm almost 100% certain that the Chelsea and Mia, you know, Charlie trying to figure out which one he wants, that is something that they deal with in the next season. I don't remember how many episodes gets devoted to it, but at least the season opener, which I almost cannot wait to watch. But it's not as it'll be today or tomorrow, so it's not as though I'll have to wait long. The thing that I was gonna get into was that there's is that everything? That might be everything, actually. But just, yeah, I mean, if I had to, I think this might be my favorite season of these 6 because of all the continuity. The Chelsea and Melissa, yeah, and the new stuff they did with Rose, and yeah, they did a really, really great job on this season. And I do think, I mean, that's the thing. A lot of sitcoms, they do they hit the reset button at the end of the episode. And that's really, I mean, 2.5 Men, let's see, I guess season 2 was when they started, at least some of the time, having stuff build. Because again, you know, first season, it's, you know, episode after episode, Judith goes, I can't believe this stuff is happening to our son. You know, your brother is a really bad influence. And just, yeah, you know, they do that over and over. And I mean, yeah, they could have kept doing that if they didn't do any continuity. But I mean, you know, they started doing continuity. I'm not sure there was really continuity in the first season. I mean, there are a couple of episodes where Alan tries to work on getting Judith back, and each of those is at least slightly different. Yeah, I guess there was at least some continuity from right away. Because really, in a lot of episodes, like Married with Children, a lot of episodes just no continuity. You know, nothing that happens in one episode will actually carry over to the next. So, you know, a bunch of episodes where, yeah, you know, for example, Al will do something that where you're like, okay, he's gonna be in a cast for like months, and then the next episode, I mean, I don't know if they're supposed to take place a week after, I'm not entirely sure, but next week he's not in a cast, and sometimes they don't, yeah, you know, so but that's, you know, the Looney Tunes live action cartoon aspect of that show. But yeah, you know, there are a bunch of sitcoms with very little to no continuity where nothing will really happen. But yeah, on this show, especially this season, this season was where they really kicked loose with that. Someone made the decision, we can do this, and just they threw themselves into it, and just, yeah. I mean, earlier seasons, not that much changed, essentially. Like, Mia tried to fix Charlie, which, you know, went wrong, and eventually they split up. And there were things, Candy and Alan, as opposed to Andy and Callan. There was some stuff, their relationship would change some, but yeah, by and large, it wasn't like gradually, he had to pay for more of her stuff, and he had to have her move in, which he hadn't gotten Charlie's permission for before it happened and such. But and then they got married and split up, but especially this season, I think I might have said that in some of the other videos that season had continuity, but this is continuity. Stuff gets built up to. I mean, they have an episode where Charlie has to deal with, well, Chelsea's going to move in, and the next episodes she has moved in. They eventually moved all that stuff out of Alan's room, obviously, but the bed sheets and the pillow, yeah, clearly she has gotten to. I'm not sure all of it has gotten to stay, but some of the stuff that she wanted to put in his place has been put in his place, so yeah. And that's also, when he's like trying desperately to convince her, and he's like, no, I don't want Mia back. It's not that I want to stay with you. And he's got her pillow, the pillow that she brought, and he's like, he's so obvious, which is again a great gag, a great joke. He's so badly, I don't know if it's that the grass was greener or just, what you might say is that part of him wants to go back with Mia because they didn't really, there's not really closure. Like, they were together for a while, and then she left with this kind of thing of, and left that written note with, I love you too much to try to change you, but I love myself enough too much to accept you the way you are, kind of thing, And then, later she comes back and she just wants a sperm, but then he's like, let's get married. And they tried, that was a to be continued. Anyway, there's been to be continued before. I have not gotten enough sleep. So the thing is that they, and then they try to get married. And the only reason they don't get married is that he feels like he can't just kick his brother out. Which, since then, he's threatened to do and tried to do, so more than before. Anyway, possibly less. They didn't really with Rose to Charlie, his romantic relationship with Rose might feel like it has closure because certainly, in part because he was the one who got to decide that it ended. With Mia, she did want to be, they were completely ready to get married, and the only reason they didn't is that he didn't want to kick Alan out. And then, and let's see, this is not the first time Mia resurfaced, but last time she was getting married, and now she had gotten married, but they're divorced. Which also, he was trying to stop her from getting married. He proposed to her on her wedding day, even though it hurt like crazy to get down on his knees because of how hard he hit the lifestyle for a while there, because she was back, kind of. And he has not gotten to, at no point in their relationship did he get to say, I don't want to be with you. She has gotten to be like, I'm not marrying you, I'm marrying this other guy. No, I can't marry you if you won't, if your brother is going to keep living there, and he hasn't gotten to make that decision. And part of him, even if that's all he's going to do, even if all he's going to do is say, I don't want to be with you, part of him at least wants to get the chance to and try to figure out if he does want to be with her, because the last times he's gotten the chance, he tried. You know, even though he ended up accepting, okay, he can't be with Mia, she got married. You know, wouldn't be the first time he was with a married woman, but whatever. I guess maybe he doesn't want to do that to her. Or maybe he thinks he can't convince... He doesn't usually try to convince the woman to leave the husband. He usually just has her cheat. But anyway, yeah, you know, he's not resolved in that. But at the same time, he's with Chelsea and he loves Chelsea. He does love Chelsea, you know, for sure. There's no way he would have taken care of her while she was sick. He said, it's the ends of the earth. I mean... At first, he said, maybe you should go home. And, you know, that was a test. But, I mean, at the end of the day, if he was heartless enough to do it, like, you know, yeah, he was willing to carry Wanda out of, you know, if he's willing to carry her while she's unconscious, maybe he is willing to carry Chelsea. And that's what I'm saying. He's not. But he might be. He is with other women. So, yeah, just, you know, put her in a cab, hand the guy the cab fare, tell him where to drop her off, and then he can wake her up when she gets there, and that'll send a pretty clear signal. And then he doesn't, you know, if she calls, he won't answer. If she rings the doorbell, he won't open the door, you know. But he did take care of her, so clearly he does want her. But at the same time, it's that thing of, well, I mean, I already have Chelsea, but could I have Mia? Because that's a, you know, and that doesn't mean that he doesn't care about her or he doesn't want to stay with her. It just, there's always going to be a thing of if, yeah, you know, is this, it's just not the same when you have someone. And I don't know, maybe I've already said way too many things that I definitely shouldn't say in this video already. And I don't know. I mean, it's not as though if I want the video, I leave the video on unlisted until I'm completely certain that, you know, like, for example, if the audio is just absolutely terrible, I'm not going to do that to another person. You know, I don't know, months ago, one of them turned out, more than months? I don't know. I at least once had a video where I didn't realize that I messed up with the audio. And like, I mean, it's that thing of like, if the video is blurry, we can like, I can squint, I can kind of see. If the audio is bad, it's like, nope, not gonna do it. And it is like, yeah, you know, the audio was really, really bad, and it was like, I can't even listen to a couple of seconds of this. I'm not going to do that to another person who, let's say that they see, oh, wow, that's a really long video. You know what? I'm going to start the video, and I'm going to go out, and I'm going to be doing things while I'm listening to it. And they press play, and like, it's buffering for a few seconds, and they leave the room, and suddenly the video starts playing, and the audio is loud, and it's just... I'm not going to do that to another person. That is such an unpleasant experience. So I always make sure to check the audio. And I try to make sure that the time codes and everything, if I wanted to, I could choose not to list this, but yeah, that's not even a joke. List, that is essentially, make it public. I'm not going to do that. I've dug myself a hole, but hey, there's like 6 seasons left, so how much further can I dig? You know, it's cold out. I'm sure near the Earth's core, it's much warmer. And if that movie, The Core, is anything to go by, it's gonna be a perfectly decent experience. Not necessarily something that you're like, wow, everybody has to watch this movie, but it's like, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And, you know, actors I quite like. And, yeah, I wonder where else we're going to go on this fantastical voyage of me saying way too much. I really love this show, and I'm super going to miss it. I mean, I'm only halfway done, but I'm super going to miss it when I'm done. But you know, it's not the last show that I have that I'm really passionate about that I'm gonna be doing videos on, so there's that. And with that, I suppose, just short of cracking 4 hours this time. With that, I good you bidet. I hope you've enjoyed watching, as I've enjoyed watching and recording, and I will catch you next time.